Hello everyone, how are we all doing today? I hope everyone is having a very wonderful day indeed. Welcome to Want to Stream Podcast 9, I believe, if I have
Who the
correctly.
fuck are you? Who the fuck am I? Who the fuck is this?
Great October, thank you so much for the follow. I do appreciate it, and thank you for the knife for 25 bits. I'm sorry that you couldn't hear it. It's because I had desktop audio muted so that I could talk to Mol, who is our guest today, guys. Our guest is the Almighty Mol. And yeah, so that's what we were doing for basically the last 10 minutes.
Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck am I? Who the fuck is this?
Joe Lawrence, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. Blimey. No, it's number 10. Number 10? Number 10, Cookie.
Hello there.
General Nebby, welcome in. And of course, guys, let's give a lovely welcome and a
Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck am I? Who the fuck is this?
J-Boy UK Baguette, thank you so much for the follow. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, hopefully everyone's having a wonderful day. Chris can't count. What did I say? What did I say? Chris can't count. I can't count. That's fair. But yeah, let's all give a wonderful welcome to AlmightyMol right below me. How are you
Hello.
doing? How are you doing, Mol?
All is well. I'm so
Oh,
excited for today, but also
yeah.
nervous. How are you, Chris?
Yeah, I am doing well, thank you. Yeah, also nervous. Yeah, it's been over a month. And also, guys, if internet is a bit choppy, we do apologise. We have been dealing with this all day. Not just Mol, but also me,
Yeah, I think
apparently.
the both of us.
So if things are a bit... It's podcast 10. Wait. Okay, now I'm going to... So there's Pineapple Sandwich, there's Secondhand CK, there's Brit 1, there's Kells, there's Meeple, there's Brit 2. 7 was... No, it's podcast 9. Okay. Thank you, Cookie. I was going to say... Blimey, you made me fucking count. How dare you make me
Yeah,
maths?
you're doubting yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, internet will be that way, I'm afraid, Nebby. I do apologise in advance. We tried our best, and we even delayed this for a few hours because of basically internet companies being trash, basically.
Yeah, not good at all.
Not good at all. Hey, Chloe, welcome in. I hope you're having a lovely day, Chloe. But yeah, I can even see right now it's a little bit choppy, but we're surviving. We're surviving. It's trash. You're trash, great. I mean, you're trash, great. But thank you for the follow. But yeah, to anyone who doesn't know what the Want to Stream podcast is, it's basically a podcast where I have a special guest on of my selection. Our selection today is a fellow British variety streamer, and a very lovely one as well. Very lovely vibes. So yeah, I am going to be talking. I'm going to be encouraging you to check her out if you haven't already at the end of the stream, but do it now as well. Check her out now.
No,
I mean, that's what you're doing. If you're here, you're checking Mol out right now. But yeah, I haven't had a lag issue, so it looks good for you. Okay, good, Gray. Good, Gray.
Oh, good.
Good. But yeah, I feel like the first question, other than how are you, that we should be asking is it should be streamer related, I believe. And we talked about this about how I've streamed for almost 2 years and you've streamed for 2.5 years. So when was it that you started streaming?
It was April. You know
Oh,
what? I think it might be 3 years. I might have lied to you already.
already.
It might be 3 years. April, 3 years of this. That's when I first started.
Oh, internet's choppy again. I do apologize, guys. Wait there.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Okay. Currently your face cam is. Oh, there we go. We're back. We're back.
Oh, but I completely couldn't hear anything. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, issues. It's my internet. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
don't worry. We will go through. We will push through this. So 3 years,
Got
you
this.
say? 3 years.
Y- Yes, I think it's 3 years. 3 years, April. I think April just gone was 3 years. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's my first time streaming.
Yeah. What do you remember? What game you played? uh.
Yes, I do actually.
Who the fuck are you?
It
Who
was
the
Dead
fuck am I?
Island.
Who the fuck is
Oh, Dead
this?
Island.
First ever Dead Island.
Oh, Dead
Yeah,
Island.
what a
That's
game! If
what a
you've not
game.
played it, well, you've got to play it.
Yeah. Techosaurus, thank you so much for coming in, and thank you so much for the follow. I hope you're having a wonderful day. But yeah, Dead Island. That's in my top 10 games of all time. Because
Fantastic.
yeah, in theory it should be number one. Because one thing that I found out is that I'm a lover for zombie games, and I'm a lover for not horror games, open world games.
Yeah.
So an open world zombie game is it's certainly my cup of tea. Certainly my cup of tea.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think that they're one of the best games. Like that's probably one of the most games that I play. Like Dead Island, State of Decay,
Yeah.
Dying Light. I love all that. So we're on the
Oh.
same page there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, are you excited for Dead Island 2, Mol?
I can't believe it. J Boy is actually in chat. He put it in my Discord a couple of days ago, I believe. Might have been on the 24th. Yeah, a couple of days ago, saying that the second one's just come out and there's a trailer. I was like, oh my
Yeah.
god, this is what we've been waiting for.
Like the first trailer came out in what?
Yes.
2013, 2014? And
Yeah.
like finally we got another trailer. I thought it was going to be one of those what if scenarios that never get answered. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Never happens. Just leaves us hanging.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there are plenty of those. I'm still waiting for Red Dead Redemption 2 Undead Nightmare after the first game had Undead Nightmare as well. But hey ho, I guess we can't have everything that we want as long as we got enough of what we want.
No, it will come. It'll come one day. Hopefully.
Yeah, one day. 2014 was the trailer, which makes sense because the first Dead Island came out in 2011, 2012. Riptide came out the year after. So Dead Island 2 trailer, yeah, that makes sense. And it's a banger of a trailer, isn't it? The first one.
Yes, it's incredible. He looks like phenomenal.
Yeah, and then you look at this next trailer and it just looks amazing. But yeah, like I just can't wait. I can't wait. And
yeah, something to look forward
to
for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Something to look forward to. And chances are it's crossplay as well. And if it's crossplay, you and I could play together if we get it.
Yes, that sounds amazing. I'm so here for that.
I still need to finish Dead Island 1 and Riptide, so that's what I'm going to be doing in the next few months.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if
Getting through that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's going to be on or off stream. But yeah, hi there, Lauren. Welcome in. I hope you're having a lovely, lovely day. Techosaurus has been busy today. Yeah, it is like Sundays are meant to be a days of relaxation, but you tend to spend all those days, just panicking over Monday, aren't you? So yeah.
Yeah, I hate that. Yeah, that is so true.
Definitely. So yeah, like your first stream was Dead Island 1, and that was about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, I when I first came across your streams, you were playing. I think it was Dying Light 2. When that recently came out, and I was like, I need to get Dying Light 1. Or you?
Yeah. So it was Dying Light. Yeah, Dying Light was what I was playing. That's right. Yeah, that was my first time coming across Dying Light before, like, actually playing it. It was a lot different than what I was expecting because it had like the jumpiness. I can't really call it
parkour.
You've got to hop about. That's it, parkour.
Parkour.
Yeah, that was good. That's true. Yeah, Dying Light was it what I was playing.
Yeah. Oh, that the parkour of Dying Light, especially like. Doesn't matter which game it is either, like 1 or 2, you're going to, like, I just like the idea of going across the roofs to avoid zombies. I feel like that is a good mechanic that no other zombie game has done yet, so.
Has done. Yeah, I think at the start I was struggling with it though, like trying to jump about. I was like, I don't like this, and I was like, I want to stay on the floor, I'm not used to this.
And then eventually, when you're going away to finishing it, it's like, it's over, Anakin. I have the high ground.
Yeah, stay high ground, Makes you win.
Yeah, exactly. Like it is certainly a lot of fun to play. Well, it's certainly fun to watch Dying Light. I can't say about gameplay because I haven't played it yet, but it's on my list. Molly struggles from start to finish though. Oh.
Ain't that the truth, Gray? You know me
Yeah.
too well, hun. You know me too well.
Oh. Oh. And yeah, I feel like when it comes to zombies games, those are like I think you've played Phasmophobia as well, but with the exception of that, I think that's your main thing has been zombie games.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It really has actually saying that. Yeah, it really
yeah,
has been. Yeah, pretty much zombie games galore.
yeah, and it's like that's you accidentally come across like that stuff where it's like, oh wait, I actually am main at this.
Yeah.
Like I had it with COD Zombies, where it was like I had a variety of games throughout 2021. I had COD Zombies. I got Dark Souls that year and started playing that. I played some Minecraft. I played some Red Dead Redemption 2. But I always circled back to COD Zombies. I'm like, holy shit. Like, it became my main thing. And it became a thing that people liked seeing. So yeah, when you're like streaming and you're streaming with no intention of like them viewers, you end up like doing it for fun and finding the most fun thing to do, and then you realize that you incidentally choose the same game quite frequently for a long period of time.
You do, yeah. I feel
Oh.
like you feel comfortable playing that game, you enjoy playing that game, so and also chatting to your friends and viewers, that like makes it even more funner as well. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. When you've got that, when your eyes are set on that game, you just play it and just have the most fun.
Like, and that's the core thing. I think it's like it doesn't matter how repetitive you are at playing a game, as long as you're having fun and you don't burn yourself out. And if you do burn yourself out,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and if you do burn yourself out, make sure you have an alternative. Like, there's a reason why I've been pacing myself with Dark Souls, because I want to play it every day for like weeks on end. But it turns out, like, when I do that with games, I get burnt out and I don't play them for months. Like, I'm yet to get back to Red Dead 2 because I was just playing that a fuck ton.
Yeah, I think if you play a game so much, you can burn yourself out. It kind of prevents you ever playing that game again. Or if you do play it, you don't play it a long while, and then you're like, oh shit, what was I doing? Sort of thing. Like, what happened then? What was the last thing I was doing?
Yeah, and it's like it can sometimes get to a bit of a nightmare where it's like if you have a weekly schedule as well that you choose to do, and because you've been playing it a lot off stream, you just end up being like, oh, I'm not looking forward to the stream because you chose that game to main that you just so happened to put on your schedule, and it's like it's always important to find that balance. And I feel like what I found is when I have left Dark Souls and have that itch to play more, it just makes it more fun. And when you're left wanting more until the end, that is a better experience, in my opinion, of the game.
110%. Yeah, 110%. I agree with you completely there.
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely. And yeah, like I feel like we have talked about a lot about like streaming video games, but a question that I should ask is, what was the first ever video game that you remember playing?
Oh, this is a good one.
Oh, it's such a good one that the
first of it,
oh, okay.
Yeah, I think during my childhood, I would say. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now. We had a bit of a moment there.
Sorry, yeah, my screen went all red.
Yeah,
it went all completely red for some reason. I would say that my first. Yeah, I would say maybe Sims.
Sims. Which Sims? The first one?
Or there was it'd be the first one.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's fair. I am not a fan of The Sims, actually. Like, I get it, but it simulates everyday activities of life. Like, if I wanted to play a game of that, I would just do it in real life, you know? Like,
Sims is so much more than that. I have to disagree. I would
uh,
spend hours on that, and I'd like create a life, family, and like you can like proper like make the story into like a soap. You can have dramas in the
yeah.
village.
Oh,
You can make a beautiful house. You can even have affairs, create those
oh,
babies.
you can just create the biggest soap opera since EastEnders.
Yeah, that's what we're here
Oh,
for. We're here for
you can
it.
even make Phil Mitchell. Why not? Right. Oh,
Get out my pub.
get out my pub. uh,
Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah,
oh,
so I would say it's Sims, or I would say it's like I played like a beach volleyball game on GameCube, and I used to
oh,
love that game. I don't know what it's called, but I used to love it.
oh. I think I'm a bit I'm like a couple of years too young for GameCube because when I first when it came to my order of consoles, the first actual console that I got, well, the first handheld that I got was a DS, of course, and then it went
Yep, love a
from
DS.
yeah, and I also had like the PS2 when I was growing up, but like when it came to a console that I physically had, it was the Wii, so I was a few years off GameCube.
Oh,
Um,
ooh, okay.
so yeah,
Yeah,
like
okay.
I started strong when it came to gaming. I started very strong. Uh,
Yeah,
like Wii Sports, Mario Kart,
yeah.
all the
That's brilliant.
classics. Yeah. What were your magnum opus
Yeah,
of video game?
brilliant. I love
Yeah.
the Wii.
Oh, I love the Wii as well. What games did like when you grew up? What games were your like magnum opus of gaming? Would you say?
Uh, mm, like I would say, yeah, I would say like on in regards to like console, if it was like PC, it was definitely a Sims.
Yeah.
Moving into The Sims. When I was younger, I would say that I probably play games that I shouldn't have played. So like
No.
Silent Hill, and that scares
Oh.
me to this day. Yeah, so
And now the real horror is the
that is
graphics.
awful. Yeah, I
uh,
know. The sound would kill me in that game.
yeah.
I definitely shouldn't be playing that. I don't think my mum knew I was playing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I've always been intrigued with like horror games. Always horror
Yeah.
throughout, really.
Oh yeah. Like I'm the opposite. Like I am a coward. um. Like I don't know if you saw. You probably didn't see them because I think they were back in 2021. But I did not one, but two Alien Isolation streams. Um, Both times I quit out before meeting the alien because I was just too scared. I like
Yeah, I've seen
the
clips of like
atmosphere.
people doing playing that. Ooh.
Yeah, the atmosphere on that game is enough to make me quit. That I don't even need the xenomorph for the true horror experience. I just have to listen. Oh, it
It's
is.
eerie, isn't it? It's very, very eerie.
Yeah, and what I find so good about that kind of horror though is that when you look at some certain horror games, it's a jump scare and nothing else. But when it came to Alien Isolation, it's a build up to a jump scare. And it's like
Yeah.
you get the full experience of horror in Alien Isolation, where you got the body horror of the alien, what it looks like. You got the tension of trying to make sure it doesn't spot you, and then you have the jump scares of it
Yeah.
suddenly attacking. So you get everything when it comes to horror in Alien Isolation. And honestly, like
Yeah.
I just think, despite the fact that I am a coward and I don't like horror games, I can at least respect that because I feel like that is a whole different kind of. I think that
Yeah.
revolutionized horror in the modern day. Because you look at Alien Isolation, and then a few years later we got
Definitely. Definitely.
few years later we got Resident Evil 7. So yeah, like it certainly wrote the book on how to give someone a horror experience rather than just a horror
Yeah.
game.
Not just jump scares, and this
Yeah,
is more a build the tension, like you were saying, the noises, like you can feel your heart beating before anything's happening. Like you know something's gonna happen when it's gonna happen. It's just
yeah,
like, ah.
yeah, and it's the same thing with Five Nights at Freddy's as well. Like like it's got two of the three. It doesn't have the body horror, but it does have the tension. because it's a video game, so it's going to have some tension. And then it
Mhm.
has the actual jump scare, like, which is only caused if like the tension is high, or if it happens like just all of a sudden. Like I remember, when you watch like a lot of like film analysis videos, you see people talk about Alfred Hitchcock's bomb theory, where it's like you got two of the same scenarios, both of which have like a 5 minute conversation, which ends in a bomb exploding. The first one you don't see the bomb. The second one you see it like 2 minutes in, and the first one is just a jump scare. The other one is the
Yeah.
tension, and I just love it when people like, especially when game developers use stuff like like the theories in film or like TV shows, and implement them into their games.
Yeah, it's very smart.
Yeah, and it just shows that it works in all mediums, not just like the tension build up, but also the 3 act structure. You just see it everywhere, and I don't know if you said that you've played Red Dead 2, or you
I haven't.
haven't. You
I
haven't
haven't.
yet,
It's on my
no.
list to do though.
Yeah,
It's on my list to do. I want to play.
yeah,
I want to play. Yeah, both. I want to play both of them.
yeah, and like without giving any spoilers, like just like for the structure alone, it is a very much a 3 act structure, like you would see in a film or a TV show. And it's like it's probably the best example of how video games can be art, because someone implemented something else that's considered art into a video game and made it something else. Like it really does blow my mind. How
Yeah,
far,
it's so creative.
yeah, like how far video games have come from, The Sims, where it's like, mainly gameplay based, and the narrative you tell.
You leave those Sims alone.
It's a far cry from The Sims, like that shit game. No,
Oh God.
but like when with The Sims, it's very like RPG based, isn't it? Where you create the characters and you form the
Yeah.
narrative in your head. And now,
Yeah.
like, we've got games where you get given the characters and get given the narrative, and the storylines are equally as captivating, if not more captivating, than it would have been if it was like a Sims RPG.
Of course, yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. So yeah, I just love how far video games have come, even though I hate how fucking
Yeah.
expensive they are now.
Oh my God, don't even start with that. I'm always at a bar trying bargain hunt, try and find what's on
Yeah.
sale. I refuse to pay it full price. I hate it. I think
know.
I only game that I paid I got a game, the first ever game I got on release day was The Quarry, which has recently come out.
Yeah.
And it was £60 I think. And then I got
Yeah.
it on sale for £35. I was like, I'm not paying £60, no way.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and the worst thing is when they ask for pre-orders, and you don't know how the game is going to be until either A, you pre-order it and try it yourself, or B, you watch it happen like after day one
Yeah.
and make the decision. So you don't get the true experience on how good a game is without gambling a lot amount of
It's a
money.
gamble.
Yeah, it's not exactly
Yeah.
like I guess to fucking Bill Gates' pocket change, but not to me. And I'm the one buying the game.
Get on, sit on. I've got cats to feed, please.
Same. And that's probably like another reason why I like Nintendo with their year memberships, because you look at Xbox and PlayStation, they're trying to make it 50 to 60 quid a year for their standard gold membership. And then you look at Nintendo and it's only 20, and I'm just like, why can't that be for everything?
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that is a big difference actually, but yeah, that is pretty good.
Oh, it is absolutely terrible. Hey there, Taters, how you doing? I hope you're having a very lovely day. A very lovely day indeed. But yeah, I think that's another reason why, when it comes to streaming, it's a lot easier to get into a niche of what games to play, because all the new games cost a fuck ton, and unless you're one of those people who get thousands or thousands of subs or 100,000 bits every fucking month, you're not exactly going to be in the right financial position to keep buying new games like Saints Row coming out, or Dead Island 2, like we mentioned before. And I just
I definitely just wait for it to come out. Like as much as I'd like to get it on the release day, I do like begrudge it. I'm like, that's so
Yeah.
much money. Like, but don't get me wrong. Like, people play it first time getting it is pretty worth that £60 or whatever you pay. But I always think that's literally gone on sale in like a couple of weeks. So let the
Yeah.
hype die down, and I'll
Yeah.
grab it later on.
Exactly. Oh. And yeah, like I feel like the best thing to do is just to wait. Although, like, as a gamer, the best thing to do is wait. As a streamer, it's also the worst thing to do because that's when interest is at its
Mm,
peak, when it just comes out.
yeah,
And only,
definitely.
yeah, only occasionally will the interest actually, stay for months after. Um, so, yeah, and yeah, it's like Back for Blood came out day one on Game Pass, and
Oh, yeah.
yeah, because I had Game Pass at the time, I played it immediately, and then after two days, I just stopped playing it because it wasn't my cup of tea. And I do think
Yeah,
I don't know about
exactly.
you, I think that's the biggest advantage that something like Game Pass can have, where these new games can come out on day one. You don't have to pay a single penny for it. You can
No.
download it. You can try it out, and if it's not your cup of tea, you can uninstall it.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah,
You've had that sense, haven't you? And I think
yeah,
Game Pass is so good. Like I feel like you said, it is they are pushing the prices up now. But I
mm,
do think Game Pass has such great games on there. Like I really do. And I think I've always like lived with a game that had a Game Pass with my Xbox and my PC. And I never really begrudged paying for the Game Pass though because I kind of felt like Netflix but for gaming.
yeah,
So yeah.
exactly. But I feel like Game Pass in the modern day has more going on than Netflix does. uh,
Yeah.
like what does Netflix
Yeah.
have? Umbrella Academy? Is that the only show
Mm,
the only A-tier show that they have left? Lucifer's ended.
yeah.
The Marvel shows, well, the old Marvel shows have gone. The new Marvel shows are meh. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, like I feel like we grew up at the very peak of gaming, to be honest. Because you and I are very similar ages, like when it comes to
Yeah.
yeah, like we both like grew up with the Wii, and we came out like we when the Xbox and PS4 came out, we were there for that, and we saw that stuff.
Yeah.
Um, that was like when things started to go a bit stagnant, I think, when it came to at least consoles. While Nintendo was still innovating with its Switch, you
Mm,
had Xbox and PlayStation, which were giving you the same console but
yeah.
stronger. And
Yeah.
like I feel like that's my biggest problem, and that's probably why I still don't have an Xbox Series X or a PS5 because it's the same console as the previous, but slightly stronger and can slightly handle
Yeah. There's
more.
not been like a big like massive like jump or like any sort of
Yeah,
like change, is there in a
yeah.
sense? I feel like don't the PS5 you can't go on the internet now, is that right? Like it's purely just for gaming only, is that right? Or have I just
Is
made that
that
up?
I don't know. I feel like PS4 Online, like I'm pretty sure you can still do that. If you can't, then fucking hell, Sony, I hate you. Um, but yeah, like I'm pretty sure you can, but I don't know. They had the same thing with Xbox One, didn't they, at the time, where it was like if you don't have an internet connection, you can't, play Xbox games, and then they fixed that like when Phil Spencer came in.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I like praise be to Phil Spencer for actually fixing a problem that someone else caused.
Yeah.
Oh, and I just fucking love that interview that the person at the time had where he was talking about like you see him doing the presentation of the Xbox One, and it's
Mhm.
all him talking about movies and TV, not gaming, despite the fact it's a games
Not
console.
gaming. It's
Yeah,
so
and
strange.
then like he talked
Like,
about how
what?
yeah, and he talked about how you needed an internet connection to play the games, and then in like I think it was an IGN interview, um, that someone addressed that and how what if like there were soldiers overseas that don't have internet connection that still love gaming, and he responded. Well, we have a good substitute for that. It's called an Xbox 360, and I'm like the fucking audacity
Ooh.
of that. Don Matrix, is that the guy, Techo? Yeah,
Ooh.
like
Wow, that's rough.
Yeah, and then he got immediately shut down by the IGN interviewer being like, okay, so no next gen for veterans then. And then like you see the person just stumbling over his words after it, like there are people like that in this world, guys. There are people like that.
Crazy.
Exactly. Like,
What the fuck?
oh,
Sorry.
yeah. Don't worry, I swear a lot, so don't worry about swearing. Like,
Oh my.
oh,
That's so rude. That's an
that,
Xbox
that
360. Sorry, what?
it's called
Are
an
you joking?
Xbox 360. Fuck off, mate.
Yeah, go fuck off, mate.
Yeah.
Drop me out.
The funniest thing about that is after that, Phil Spencer legit made backwards compatibility a big thing, and so
Yeah.
now, with the exception of Guitar Hero 3, my Xbox 360 is completely redundant. Um, so yeah, my favorite interview was Angry Joe and Larry Herb. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Yeah, nor do I.
Yeah. Ah well. But yeah. Oh god, I hit my mic. um. That being said, like, yeah, like imagine like if like we streamers had something like similar to that, where it's like, what if tier 3 subs had exclusive content locked behind a paywall. Only tier 3 subs can get it, not tier 2, not tier 1, not users. And then we were like, you know what? There's a good alternative to that. It's called Get Some Money. Like,
yeah, like you can't. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
It's just
and
not.
there are streamers out there like that as well. Oh,
Yeah,
it just gets,
some people out there like wild. Like when you see videos of
yeah,
like what streamers have done and said, you're like, oh
yeah.
my god! Like I don't
I
know what her name
just
was, but it was a streamer just kept losing their
$5
shit,
a
saying,
month.
"You come here, yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah.
it, yeah, you come here. This is
Oh.
not free content." I was like, oh
And
my
has
god,
the like
who are you?
gives the most Karen facial expression as well. Like, yeah, $5 a month. It's not pocket change, love.
Yeah, like
Oh,
it's mental. It is
yeah,
mental. Like how people are and how they feel they can say things and don't think of their like repercussions. It's bad.
yeah, and that's certainly why I make sure that I choose my guests on the podcast so that I know what kind of person I'm getting into the podcast. Because you're certainly very similar to me, where it's like it's all about the fun. It's all about the
Yeah,
enjoyment of the games. The community is certainly a big part of what makes things, what motivates us to keep going.
yeah,
And
yeah, definitely.
yeah, uh,
I think that's like underestimated a bit. Like
yeah,
people like like people think like oh Twitch is like a get rich scheme sort of thing. It's
yeah,
not even like that at all. Don't get me wrong. You can do well on Twitch and then become very very well off. Don't get me wrong. However, I think people underestimate how special community is with Twitch. That's one of
yeah,
the best things about Twitch is the community.
yeah. Like for me personally, if like I would prefer if I had a middle ground where I was like big enough to constantly like get enough money on it for a monthly payout. But at the same time, I don't ever want to sacrifice my human connection with my community, because that's what's built what I've got so far, and I want it to be the thing that builds it even further. So yeah, like content for me, the content is there. Um, but yeah, like it is amplified. Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Okay, you're still here.
yeah.
The face cam decided to go a bit ski whiff.
I'm sorry.
Don't worry.
Yeah, no, I'm going like yeah. It keeps telling me about warning signs. I don't know. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
It's
don't
so
worry.
shit today. I
Yeah,
apologise.
don't worry. It is what it is. And
Yeah.
one of the reasons actually why it is like that is because you have moved out. I believe you have moved into a new place.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So yeah, it's just really since the move. I've kept the internet the same, but I've just had difficulties. Like even people
yeah,
spinning my stream, they've known me to have internet issues now. But it is one of those things. It's
yeah,
you can't change it. It just
yeah.
is what it is.
Well, you can change it. It just takes a long time for the contract to expire. uh,
Yeah. Exactly.
I just hate it. Like that's my biggest thing. It's like if you're not satisfied with an internet provider and you're stuck in a long-term contract with them, there's nothing you can do about it other than complain and complain.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like I'm with PlusNet, which is a lot better than my
Oh, and that's
previous.
just aggro, isn't it? That's just not.
Yeah,
It's not even like it's. Yeah, I've never been with PlusNet before,
yeah.
but is it? Do you find it okay?
I think it's a lot better than TalkTalk was. Like TalkTalk was,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like when it came to TalkTalk, it was like, terrible download speed, and like I'd say like the connection is equally as bad as it is now. So like it'll maybe even worse because I'll just constantly disconnect randomly from my Xbox Live.
Oh,
And then
oh,
like PlusNet has been like a lot better, especially when I got a Ethernet extender for it for my PC.
yeah.
Which is probably the biggest reason why my stream is still up right now, because if I was on Wi-Fi, I'd probably be dead. um, like it is a big like pain in the
Yeah,
arse.
I know. I literally figured, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
no, definitely. Like, I only realised, I only found out the other day that there's different types of Ethernet cables. So when I was
Yeah.
having
No. Oh.
internet issues, there's a certain.
Oh. Yeah. Your voice is lagging quite a bit. Uh. Oh.
Oh no, I'm so
Oh dear.
sorry.
Okay. Okay. We're back up. Okay. So continue everything that you just said. Uh.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Don't worry. It
What
will
I
happen. Uh.
was trying to say was types of Ethernet cables that you can get, which is something that I never knew before. Like,
Yeah.
I should be using a certain type, which will help with the internet connection.
Yeah, like there's these things that were recommended to me for my streams, where it's basically like a walkie-talkie, but they're two plugs. One goes into like a socket close to your internet, one goes into a socket close to your PC. They both have Ethernet ports in them. You put one Ethernet port in one and another in the other Ethernet port, and they're connected, so it will help strengthen at least the safety of your internet, well, the security of your internet instead of constantly disconnecting.
Yeah,
So yeah, and like
something that I need to invest in, I think.
yeah, because yeah, especially considering like you said earlier that you've got like a bit of a blind spot with your internet, and that
Yeah,
would certainly help it out. That would certainly fix it. And I think it's a cost at like 30 quid, and it comes with like the two Ethernet cables as well. So
right.
yeah, I certainly would recommend investing in that if you're
Yeah,
able to.
thanks for letting me know about that. I think, yeah, definitely, because I feel like nothing is worse when you've got bad internet, is there? Nothing. Oh, it's
Yeah.
so painful.
Oh, especially in like our line of, well, my line of work. I call it work anyway. Um,
Yeah,
where like yeah, we stream and sometimes we keep a regular schedule, and sometimes when internet it goes bad, you have no choice but to either delay or cancel, and it's a very heartbreaking thing when that happens, because it's
yeah,
like you want
yeah,
to
it
you
is.
like it's on the one hand, it's like you feel like you're letting your community down when you do it, and it's also a case
Yeah,
of you want to hang out with your community, and you just can't.
definitely.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
I definitely agree with you. It's like you get that guilt, isn't you? You get that guilt.
yeah,
Like it's weird. It's a weird feeling, but yeah, I know you can relate to that.
yeah. Like I'm pretty sure a lot of streamers can certainly relate to that because.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, everyone's had internet issues, haven't they? Like, if you haven't had internet
Yeah,
issues,
yeah.
like,
Oh.
show me a person who has had internet issues, and I'll show you a flying pig. Like genuinely, it is like it's up there with taxes of certainty and death, I guess.
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
I mean, taxes are death. Let's be honest.
Yeah, yeah, honestly, don't get me started.
Oh, oh.
The joys of life, how do you, the joys of
Mm,
adult life.
the joys of adult life. I want to be a kid again.
Yeah, yeah.
I say I want to be a kid again, but I don't know what I want more, to be a kid again or to have that colour be cider instead so that I can talk about it a bit more.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's the
Oh,
balance. Which one?
yeah. Yeah, and I feel like that is another point to bring up is like growing up, like like you chose to become a streamer, and my question is, when growing up, did you have any inspirations to do any form of content creation?
Uh, I wouldn't say I had like inspiration actually. I'd say no, I came across Twitch say about 4 or 5 years ago. So I'd say I'm fairly new to Twitch in the sense of viewing and being a viewer. And I think when I viewed Twitch, I kind of fell in love. I fell in love with the content creation and that community build and being part of the community. That's what I fell in love with. So I didn't actually have an inspiration about it. Twitch just become my inspiration, I guess.
Yeah, it's like a craft, isn't it? Like for streaming, like it's
Yeah.
and I just hate it when people say that streaming isn't a real job because it's okay, yeah, it's not a real job. It's fucking five real jobs, you
Yeah,
know?
no, it's so much more. That's like I think people underestimate like like
Yeah,
content creator, like how much hard work goes into that. Like
yeah.
so much hard work. Like it does take a toll on you. So I think people feel like, oh my god, no, you're just playing games. What do you mean? There's so much more than that. Like I hate when people that comment. I hate that comment.
Yeah, like it's like it's not just gaming. Like gaming is the fucking background. Like sometimes it's what you're doing in the video game. So like it could be like a challenge run, which it would be similar to how esports is with competitive gaming. It's got you need to have that skill. Like you have to have the mental fortitude and strength of a therapist to go through your own Twitch chat sometimes.
Yeah, yeah,
So like you certainly need to have like that edge, well that skill as well, and you need to have like enough of a like personality, like not necessarily acting because it's not really acting, it's being yourself, but it's just
yeah,
having the confidence of being yourself. Like in pro wrestling, they say that the best character that you can have is an extended version of yourself. And the same goes for Twitch. Your Twitch personality should be a just a enhanced version of yourself in that sense.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
You know, for like a place where you feel safe to be you. And I think that's the thing about Twitch. Like it is true. Like in every day, we're kind of like robots where we are
yeah,
ourselves, but we're not ourselves. Though we're just going
yeah,
through life. We're just on this boat. We're just rowing. Do you know what I mean? When
yeah,
you're streaming, you can just be you and like laugh and. You are really just you. It's like an enhanced version of you, isn't it?
yeah. Like it's you turned up to 11, or like depending on how well, it's your choice on how much it's turned up to. I guess. But yeah, like, and it's like Grey October said, Twitch isn't just gaming though. There's music and podcasts and cooking, and so
Yeah,
much
there's so
more.
much. Yeah,
Uh, yeah,
like when I went to TwitchCon recently for the first ever time, and
right.
they were talking about like how Twitch has evolved from just like not just gaming. Like there's so many
Yeah,
different things. You've got spirit healers, like tarot readers. Like there's so much out on Twitch. It's
yeah,
phenomenal. Like craft, body art. Like it's mental. Like it's brilliant.
yeah.
It's a creative space.
Like, yeah, like I would say gaming is the foundation, and you should never get rid of the foundation.
Yeah.
But it's not the only branch on the tree.
Definitely
Like,
not. Yeah, definitely not. And I think it's brilliant that there is a place for everyone and every little thing that you
yeah,
can bring something new to Twitch, but that's okay. It doesn't matter what
yeah.
it is. Do you know what I mean?
As long like it's not just Twitch as well. You can like if it's also the same with YouTube, where it's like you can absolutely do anything on there within reason, as long as you like
Yeah,
within reason. I have to specify within
with
reason.
reason.
Yeah. Oh. And yeah, I will confess, Twitch is sometimes the worst platform on the planet, but sometimes
Yeah,
it's also the best platform on the
best
planet.
exactly. Yeah,
And it's the
yeah,
same goes with YouTube. Sometimes it's the worst, sometimes it's the best. And so like yeah, like whenever I see people who rag on Twitch for being just you know suited for one group of streamers or one demographic of audience, it's like no, you just need to find a way to bring your own audience in.
yeah,
Um
exactly. And just find your place in
yeah.
this part of Twitch.
Like, I mean, I may be insane for having this as a idea, but what if, like, you had, like I said with pro wrestling, where it's scripted, it's a scripted personality thing, but it's masquerading as something else. Like, what if, you got a bunch of streamers to get together, craft their own personalities and make it like their own rivalries between each other, and it's all scripted and all that. But you know, it brings in an audience who likes the drama, and it's not actual drama.
It's not actually, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like I feel like that would be a fantastic idea, and I would certainly love to be the founder of that. So
Yeah, honestly, you make it. I'm there for it, hon. I'm here for it.
So if any streamers would like are like down with this plan, contact me.
Yeah, DM hon, DM him.
Yeah, DM me. Speaking of DMing, like one of the biggest nightmares when it comes to setting up this podcast, without a doubt, is finding a guest. Even though I'm only doing it once a month, finding a guest is a nightmare. And
yeah,
so
I can imagine that's a big responsibility. Like you've
yeah,
got to get the right person that you like and would be good for your channel,
yeah,
like similar views, I guess,
yeah.
and things like that.
And the thing is, it's like it's not just what's good for my channel. Like my channel is like built on the foundation of give good people the recognition they deserve. So as long as I've got enough people, like just one person coming by, it's enough for me. As long as I have, as long as I still average enough views to, you know, maintain my affiliates, then I'm fine. And
Yeah.
the reason why I have the podcast is so that I can give people somewhere else to go to, and it's been successful. It has been successful for me to do this because, like, I went into Canary Stream, who was a guest a couple of months ago, and I saw Nebby there, and I was like, okay, it works.
Hey.
Yeah, like.
Oh wow.
It like I just love the fact that my community and I have the same goal of finding just good people, and yeah, like and it's not just the task of finding a guest; it's also like that self-confidence of asking as well. So it needs to be someone that you're comfortable with, and I know like through talking to you like on your streams and the vibes that you give off, that I would certainly be comfortable asking you. And so I certainly think it's vital to find, you know, enough people out there like that. It makes life a lot happier.
Yeah, I do agree with you there because I feel like it is a lot of pressure on you because you've got to go and approach someone, and there could be like that rejection as well, or how they might take that question. Like for me, I was like, "What the heck? Are you sure? Like, are you actually sure about that?"
Yeah, honestly, like the way that you said that you were honoured, like just the word honoured, I was like my hand was on, like I was like my hands were on my heart with that.
It's just crazy. I think like really, like is he sure? Like me, like do you know what I mean? I feel like it's so special if you ask me, and I'm like forever grateful for that. Cause that's so lovely, like really lovely.
Honestly, like it's like I say, give good people the recognition they deserve, and it comes from the saying of put good into the world and goodness will find its way back to you, which is something that I just like it's something that I strive for, no matter who it is, as long as like they are good people and I know that they put good into the world. I want to give that back in any way that I can, even if it's something that, you know, it's not, you know, it's a humble thing to do rather than a big, you know, celebratory video with 1,000 people in attendance. Like even something like sending a kudo board with 10 members of the community saying happy birthday, or you know, something like that. As long as I'm doing something for the people that I, you know, have come across, and I certainly start to care about them as well, and yeah, like
you build that bond and that connection, like you know their little things, or you know their life stories, or you know like it's their daughter's birthday coming off, or it's their like friend, like do you know what I mean? You get to know their special events and their what's special to them.
Yeah, and it starts becoming special to you as well in that regard, because like I remember like earlier today actually, I was talking to my friend. And we were just chatting. I never asked them what their line of work was, and then they told me that they were an English teacher, and I was like, I didn't realize that you did teaching.
Oh wow!
And I was like, now that I'm just going to remember that now. Like I'm going to just remember that, you know, that they do teaching, and I'm like, whenever we get into a conversation, I can say how's the teaching life going, and then like if things are going well, and if they're not, I can see if I can help. In any way.
It's that personal level, isn't it? Again, that personal level. That's lovely.
And I think that's what that's the one thing that that determines whether or not you have what it takes to be a streamer, is if you're able to build a personal connection to
Yeah.
your community. And not just that, like it's like I said, I was talking to them in DMs, and yes, they are a fellow streamer as well, but also like how like DMing them and just talking to them in that way, like it's not, like I told you, the majority of my followers come from off stream, and it's because I'm like off stream, I am building a personal connection more
Yeah.
there than I am on my streams themselves. To the point where when I am streaming, I'm just like I do feel like bad if I'm not seeming empathetic enough to their to what they tell me, and
Yeah.
it's not that I'm not. It's just that I'm also doing a load of other stuff at the same time. It's like we said, you got
It's a
4
balance, isn't
jobs.
it?
Yeah,
Yeah, it really is. You've got to
yeah,
find that balance, and you've got to be you as well to satisfy
yeah,
your needs and make sure you're okay. Like, and I think there is a lot of pressure around like content creating that a lot of people don't really think of. I they don't really think of like what comes with that.
yeah, exactly. Like you look at it and you think like for me, when I first saw content creating, I thought I couldn't do this because of the skills. But when I started doing it, you have the doubt of I can't do this because of the burnout. Not because you can't, but because
Yeah.
you may not be emotionally able to.
Yeah, I agree with you completely there. I've been through that myself as well. Like I think contract you do go through that, and that's one of the worst things as well because like not only are you burned out, you feel shit now, but you also feel shit because you feel like you're letting people down, and you feel
Yeah,
like you're gonna mess up your like progression. It's crazy. It's a whole big like oh, it's like a storm. It's like a storm.
yeah. It's exactly like a storm. Like you don't know like how long it's going to last.
Yeah.
And the only thing that you want to do is stay in bed and listen to the thunder.
Yeah, literally. That's hideaway.
Yeah.
Mind outside.
Oh. Yeah. I mean, I would certainly go outside a thunderstorm, but that's because I hate heat. Um,
Yeah. Oh
and
yeah, I'm not a big fan.
yeah, I don't know about you, but with my room, because of how close proximity everything is, and the fact that I've got an Xbox and a PC on at the same time for the most part, it really heats up the room.
Heats up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Yeah, my room is very not large, but I would say it's not small room. So like I guess I don't really get that heat really, which is kind of a good
Yeah.
thing. I guess it flows.
Like I've got my fan on right here, right now, and it's still pretty warm in here.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I do like my
Yeah.
glorified Kellogg's. Uh,
Yeah, no, the glorified Kellogg's box. That
yeah,
literally cracked me up earlier. I was like, what's your glorified cereal
it
box?
is basically
Oh, brilliant.
because I feel like if you could turn it 90 degrees, cereal would somehow come out. Um, uh,
Oh, brilliant.
yeah, I
Brilliant.
yeah. Uh,
It would be nice to have like a gaming room though. Don't get me
oh
wrong.
yeah,
That is a go up there, man. Imagine
yeah.
having your own gaming room. Come
I'll just
on.
make it.
That is
I would make it fucking massive, and I'd have a pool table right in the middle.
yeah, fuck yeah. That's a great
Yeah,
idea. Love playing pool.
yeah. And then I'm gonna have the dartboard so that if anyone comes in and whoops a daisy. Oh, honestly,
Brilliant.
like if like I had the money to make a big house or to have a big house and have a big streaming room, I would certainly just make it do that. So because the streaming opportunities that would bring, like
Oh man.
just get your friend over, play a game of pool, listen,
Yeah.
watch chats, and then have channel point redemptions like I don't know, pot the white ball.
Oh my god, that is such a good idea.
Oh,
Yeah. That could probably like, mess up your game.
yeah.
Love that.
And then, like, choose which one pops the ball. Pots the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is such a good idea.
Yeah. Oh, we have accidentally created the dream.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm going to bed dreaming tonight, put it
yeah.
that way.
So yeah, exactly. So, my current savings list is like, move to Canada, gaming room.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Oh,
it. That's life complete, hun.
yeah,
Life is
exactly.
complete.
Life is always complete when it comes to Canada. The best place to be.
Oh, I'd love to go Canada. What a
Yeah.
place, man. Come
Yeah.
on, but when it snows, God, does it snow?
Yeah. When it they say when it rains it pours, when it snows it fucking avalanches.
Okay, honestly, yeah.
Like, I mean, to be fair, I would not mind that. It's not the snow that gets me, it's the ice.
Oh, yeah, that's awful, isn't it? Slip sliding away.
Especially
Where you go.
like I think it's called black ice, the one that just slips everywhere. Like it's just
Yeah.
Oh, you could just make fucking roller skates out of those. Oh. But yeah, going back to the dream game room, if you like could create a dream game in mind, like what would your game have?
Oh, that's such a good question, Chris. Stop. You know what? I don't even think I could tell you. Oh, I don't know. That's a hard question.
Can't tell me it's NSFW.
Yeah. If you have an idea, what would your one be? Give me some inspiration here.
Open world zombie game.
Yeah.
Maybe add cowboys in it. And not make it Red Dead Redemption 1 Undead Nightmare, because that was glitchy as hell. Legit, there's a glitch in that game. That should be my favourite game of all time, but there's a glitch in it where the zombies go headless, so you can't kill them unless you use fire. And when that happens, you can't even save the game, because that causes the game to crash. Which means
that's actually mad.
And it happens so frequently as well. Like
you'd get like
if you get like an hour into Undead Nightmare, you're gonna get that glitch. And if you don't save, you've lost an hour gameplay.
Oh my God, I'd be so annoyed.
Yeah. Oh. And
that's frustrating.
And that's a game that was considered so good that it made it. Well, that's a DLC that was considered so good that it became a game of its own. And then that got
that's crazy.
Yeah, I think that's just for Xbox though. I think they don't have it for PlayStation. I think that.
I see.
So yeah, it's a bit more fine there, or at least it's bad for Xbox One and Xbox 360. It's fine, but I can't tell.
It's something.
Yeah.
Where it's working on one, but not on the other. You've given me an idea there actually, because you mentioned cowboys. I would make a game similar to LA Noir or LA Noir, if you would call it.
Noir,
yeah. But I'd make it like saloons, like in the like Wild West, and like where you got the wanted poster, because like the wanted podcast. That'd be my game. That LA Noir, but like in Western times.
Oh yeah. Ye olde California, ye olde Cali detective agency.
Yes, me for it.
Oh, absolutely. Tell you what, guys.
That'd be good.
You guys in the chat right now, give us a good name for that LA Noir cowboy game, and then
what would it be?
I promise you, I will make a cover of it. If we do it. So give us some good names.
We'll go to like board meetings, and we'll go to like these devs and say, look, we want this
hire
idea.
Me, Rockstar.
You do it. Yeah, hire me now.
I would be Rockstar's best project manager. Well, not second best project manager. I think the best would be Dan Houser still. But
I'll be sidekick. I'll be your sidekick. Who'll be their sidekick?
We just make some good characters. I would love like this GTA 5, Red Dead Redemption 2. Like combined game,
combined. That'd be so good.
Like it's set in modern day, but it's got aspects of Red Dead 2, like horse riding in there, because I want a horse in GTA.
Horse, yeah. I fucking love like in Assassin's Creed, you can jump on the horse and ride it. I fucking love doing that. Like I'm so here for that.
I mean, that would cause chaos. Like one car would end that horse, but it would be fucking hilarious. To just launch off the horse. Yeah. To be fair, if you get insurance on the horse, it'll be fine.
Yeah, fine. Be looked after.
I mean, I feel like if it was GTA, that would not make sense. But if it was in Saints Row, they'd be like, "Fuck it." You're
it makes sense. It'd make it make sense.
Yeah. Exactly. Especially considering Saints Row 4 was in a simulation. They would absolutely have it there.
Honestly, I don't know what happened with Saints Row. I prefer Saints Row, right, over GTA. Yeah. Not many people say that, but I did. Yeah. And then it all just went crazy and just got terrible. And they ruined the game there, man.
Saints Row 3 is probably my best, like my favourites in the
Yeah.
four, like because it has like the GTA aspect, like Saints Row 2 did, but it
Hmm.
also is like at least out there enough to have its own identity, like Saints Row 4 did. And it's like
Yeah.
it's basically, and also I just love the fact that the Saints are basically celebs, despite the fact they are mastermind criminals as
I
well.
know.
Like
What the fuck?
my favorite quote in that entire game is a police officer going, "Hey, my son wants your autograph. After that, can we arrest you?"
Yeah.
Or something
Boy,
like that.
it just got silly, didn't it? I think it just got silly.
Yeah, to be fair, I love the silliness of like Saints Row 3 because just because it's not, it just showed that it's not just another GTA game. It's
No, yeah.
yeah, and I feel like it was silly enough for it to be hilarious, but also it was serious enough to be considered an actual story instead of a slapstick you know Mario game, basically. Uh, like yeah. Oh,
They might be able to redeem themselves, maybe.
maybe.
But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
See.
they might be able to redeem themselves with this new Saints Row, but
Yeah.
like that's probably the thing that I like the most though, the art of Saints Row 3. Like you look at Saints Row 3's like one of their promotional images, and it's of the player in the center, Johnny Gat and Pierce on one side, Kilbane and Shaundy on the other, and it looks like they are ready to take over the world, with their fucking
Yeah.
suits. And then you look at the promotional image for Saints Row, it looks like a high school reunion. Like, like genuinely,
Oh, that's brilliant.
it's just four
That's
people being
brilliant.
like this on a fucking wall. Like I can do that. To the
I can
make,
do that. Come on.
I can't dress in a dapper silver, well, a dapper purple black suit with silver metal on it. Oh,
No, I talk about Saints Row. I want to replay the first one. Now I want to replay it for God's
yeah.
sake.
Yeah, to be fair, I feel like Saints Row it certainly has the potential to be
Yeah.
a great game, but like I'm not hearing overwhelmingly good reviews from the critics.
Oh
But
no.
that being said, there are a lot of games that were shafted by critics, and then you play it and it's like, oh wait, no, this is the best game. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, like you can't always
yeah.
go by reviews. That's someone's opinion, but when you play it, it can be out of this world for you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, and I feel like the beauty of gaming is that, uh, yeah, there are so many games and so many opinions on it, and so many gamers that we are actually allowed to have these debates.
Yeah.
And but once again, like there are people who just take it a bit too far. Um, so
For
like,
sure. For
yeah,
sure.
like it's one thing if it's like Xbox Live chat banter where you say something like very harsh, like I'm not gonna say what because I feel like that stuff is harsh for me to say personally.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, fairs.
But there's a difference between that and then saying someone is like this, that, and the other just because they like or dislike a certain game.
Yeah, it is
Oh,
silly. People do just it's just ridiculous really though, like how you think
yeah,
someone can wanna cause harm just for an opinion.
yeah.
Like what?
Like the biggest culprit for this is Last of Us 2. I do not like Last of Us 2. I know a lot of people who
Hmm.
do, but
Yeah.
I still can never justify some people sending death threats to Laura Bailey for doing a fantastic job. And
Oh wow.
don't get me wrong, I hate Abby's character, but Laura Bailey is not to blame. She turned chicken shit into chicken salads.
No,
Um,
of course.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
there are just these people who think just because uh-oh. Are you okay? Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah, it's lagging a bit for you. Give it a mo. Okay, I think you're good now.
Okay.
Okay, continue what you're saying.
Yeah, I think people do, like you were saying, people do go too far. Like,
Yeah.
she's only, yeah, you can't, how can you go so far and say death threats? That's
Yeah.
mental.
Like there was a time like back in like the 70s where wrestling was believed to be real. and there were death threats sent to wrestlers who were playing as villains. And
Oh,
for
wow.
that back then, that was how you were considered. That's how you knew you were doing a good job as a villain. But nowadays, like that, this isn't. This is not wrestling. This is gaming. This is a video game, and it's like when people sent death threats to the person who played Skylar in Breaking Bad. And it's like, I don't like Skylar, but the actor still did a great job.
Yeah, they did an amazing job at bringing that character to life.
To be fair, like this might just be me, but I would, if someone gave me a death threat to like for a job that I did, and and it was because of my performance of doing something, then I would consider that a job well done. That I managed to get someone that emotional
to come to me and tell me how.
Yeah, you're going to snap my neck, are you? You can't.
You keyboard warrior.
You can't even snap the game in half, mate. You secretly love it, I bet you.
I bet, yeah, you're a top fan.
Yeah. But yeah, like...
Brilliant.
But I feel like that's the biggest problem that gives isn't necessarily the fact that people are threatening. Like, that is certainly a terrible thing, but it's also the fact that it gives a stigma to the genuine criticism of a game. That people just choose to immortalize a game saying it's brilliant because of a certain death threat being sent. Thank you for the hydrate, Grey October.
Yeah, I need to hydrate too. Yeah, I need some water.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you want to go get water, I don't mind. If you want to go get it.
Oh, I'll text my partner to bring me in some water.
Oh, okay. The easy life. Just get your partner.
Yeah, I was like, please, keep bringing me some water, please.
Oh, yeah, that's certainly great. But yeah, like I do have genuine criticisms of Last of Us 2, regarding Abby's character, with like the way that they justified what she did in the game. I'm not going to say what because I don't want to spoil it for anyone. But
yeah,
she does,
and I've not played it, so yeah, no spoilers, please.
But Abby's character does something in the game, and they try to justify it with what is essentially a shoehorn. Because Last of Us 2 was not written in Last of Us 1, so they shoehorned a plot point from Last of Us 1 into Last of Us 2. And I just think the way they did it is just so poorly executed.
Yeah.
Like, I can believe Abby as a character. I can't believe Abby as a likable human being who did this, that, and the other. And you know, when you do play the game, you'll probably see what I mean by that. But there are people out there who think Abby's great, and that is fine. That is fine. But you know, please don't force me to think that she's great because I don't.
Yeah.
Think so.
That's the thing, yeah, you can non-force you. Your opinion is your opinion, and that's completely valid. Do you know what I mean? I think, yeah, like you said, people do go too far with it all.
Yeah, exactly. And I have seen both ends of the stick when it comes to Last of Us 2, where you have someone who hates it so much that it is plain hatred. I like how we both had our arms stretched like that. It was like I almost have to have giving you something. Here you are.
You are Joe.
Yeah.
That was plot twist.
Plot twist. But on the one hand, you do have the people who hate it to the point where it is just hate. And then you have the people who love it to the point where they, like, people have outright called it perfect. I'm like, no, it's not, mate. Like, Red Dead Redemption 2 is my favourite game of all time. Even I can say it's not perfect.
I think, have you played Cyberpunk? That's the question to ask. Cyberpunk, have you played that? That's really glitchy, right?
I didn't just play Cyberpunk. I played the last gen version of Cyberpunk. So that was like, I only did it for one stream, but yeah, like when you see how glitchy Cyberpunk is in the reveals, I had like a glitch counter at the ready, thinking we're going to hit double digits. But within 2 hours of last gen Cyberpunk, not only did we survive crashing, we had less than 10. I think we got like 6 glitches total.
Oh wow!
So not nearly as glitchy as you would think.
Yeah, like I remember seeing like loads of YouTube videos, and I kept watching them, and it was fucking hilarious. Like, someone would be walking down the street, and a car would be like flying through the sky.
It's like,
like what the hell?
I had that happen with Forza Horizon 4, but I think that was intentional because he went off a ramp. So, like, I was driving just casually, then I just saw like a fucking car in the distance go like just yeet over a bridge. I was like, "All right, mate."
Where'd that come from?
Yeah,
Up near there. I'm safe
it's
driving.
actually in my clip reel for my starting scene screen. You see me zoom in on it when it just goes. But I think that was intentional because I think that was like a ramp that the car was going off, like a stunt jump, like you see in GTA.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. This wasn't honestly. This wasn't intentional. We was just walking
Yeah,
down the street. And you see these cars just like driving in the sky. And I'm like, what
yeah.
the fuck?
And once again, in Forza Horizon 4, there's this other glitch where I was just driving on a motorway, not a roundabout, because it was in the UK, and UK's have roundabouts. It's a stereotype.
Yeah.
And then my car just suddenly crashed into nothing, and then a second later, a bus spawned in.
Oh.
And I was like, where the fuck did that
Wait
bus
a
come
minute.
from?
Wait a minute.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, what a laugh.
like glitches are the best and the worst. Like
Yeah.
you can have those times where cars just fly in or just decide not to spawn, but at
Yeah.
the same time, you can have moments where you pop out the map and you're underwater and you just drown.
Yeah, like, wait a minute. I was on the road a minute ago. This
Yeah.
wasn't here.
Or like you have those glitches where your character's face just becomes a nightmare. Like you just either up here.
Like, what is that?
Yeah. Oh, my favorite.
Please a
of
laugh.
that-
You've got to laugh.
Yeah, my favorite of that is I think it's WWE 2K15. These YouTubers Gore and Perkins someone made a compilation, and then someone had this like it was a victory scene, of I think it was Randy Orton's face, and because of his like his fucking lips were like looks like he was going in for a fucking kiss. His like eyes were fucking wide open. It was just fucking hilarious.
That's the thing with glitches. Like, I literally watch YouTube glitches like on YouTube. It's actually hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, it's just unreal.
Yeah. Oh, another one in
Oh.
2K15 is like in the ladder matches. If you accidentally knock a ladder over with someone on it, sometimes the character would just orbit around the ring, just spin around, and because the camera angle is set to look at all the wrestlers, it's basically like a fucking rave where it goes boom, 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 boom. And like, once again, there is a video by Nerd Cubed with that for 2K15, and like he's just like he's just losing his shit the entire time. Because someone was orbiting the wrestling ring at intense speeds.
Like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, tactically my daughter is flying down in the morning, so I want the home to be clean for when she gets there. No worries, Grey October. Thank you so much for the follow earlier. I hope your daughter has a safe flight. Thank you so much for the look, Grey. I really do appreciate it.
Thanks for hanging out, Gray.
Yeah. And that's certainly that's actually a good segue into our next topic that we should discuss. How lurkers are very much appreciated, and like you just hate it. I just hate it when people decide to call out lurkers.
Worst thing you can do. I think it's horrific. Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't understand lurkers. Lurking is so important. Means so much to a streamer. Like,
yeah. If they like, and they just complain that they're not chatting. Like when I do call out a lurker, it's usually to say I see you and I appreciate you. It's not to make them speak. And then you have people who just complain that they aren't speaking in chat. And at the end of it, it's like it's what someone said, where the viewers aren't there to enhance your content. They are there to watch it, and if they want to talk and enhance it, they will.
Yeah,
it's their choice.
They will. Yeah, exactly. And I think, like, for me, I feel like if someone calls out a streamer, calls out a lurker in a negative way, I just think, I don't know why you feel so entitled. Like, why do you think you could call out someone for not speaking in your chat? It's bizarre. Like, sometimes I don't get how people's brains function or why they think that they do. But yeah, for me, lurkers so appreciated, and I like to make them aware of that. Yeah.
Especially when it's the bigger streamers who do it. It's like you've got plenty of people chatting. Don't fucking, give
Yeah.
someone. Yeah, like, don't call out one person because they're not doing what a lot of people are. Like,
Yeah. Exactly.
genuinely, it is, like you said, horrific
Yeah.
that, people think they are that big that they are entitled to complain about something as petty as that. And you
Yeah, and
don't,
I feel like it's like belittling someone. I think it's like
yeah.
belittling them,
Or,
really.
you have people who complain about their view count being low and it's fucking triple digits. And then we are here fucking sometimes averaging one, and
Yeah.
you don't hear us complain that much.
No.
I say
No.
that much because sometimes when it's consistent, the only person. But to be fair, when it comes to that, I blame myself, no one else. When it comes to that, like I feel like if a view count is low, the only person really that can be blamed, if anyone, should be the streamer themselves. But even
Yeah.
then, it's not always their fault. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
just luck.
It is just how it is, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And I think you can always say to yourself like, what am I doing wrong or
yeah,
things. But then I feel like don't take it in like a negative way, even though it's easier saying than doing. Because I've been there as well, like
yeah,
that negative thinking, like
yeah,
why am I
exactly.
good enough? Like, why am I doing this? But I think a plan of action of what you could do to improve those views, that's
Yeah,
something you could help
yeah.
to
And
yeah.
that's also more encouragement to go into other people's chats to see what they do right.
Yeah.
And then or see what they do wrong and maybe help them out a bit. Like still my biggest flex came in recent memory when it came to streaming because God bless Chloe. She came back to streaming and she had issues with her resolution. And so it was fucking midnight for me. So I went into her VC, helped her within like a minute, and then left. And that's how I met Chloe. That's
Oh, see what I mean?
like legit. Like it's just going in and helping out someone with their stream, telling
Yeah.
them what to do.
How to help,
Yeah,
yeah, how to
yeah,
resolve the issue. Because like I've like although like I've been streaming for like 3 years or whatever, there's still so much that I don't know. Like
yeah,
yeah, like I can probably help someone set up like slobs, like Streamlabs and all that, but
yeah,
like they'd know things that they can teach me, and I think that's the whole thing about streaming. You're always learning, you're always
yeah,
finding ways to kind of learn new things and try and progress your stream and things like that.
yeah. And the worst thing you can do as a streamer is choose to stop learning.
Yeah.
You'll never run out of things to learn. Like
No.
legit, like with my rebrand came the clip player whenever I do a shout out. So when I do shout out you at the end of the stream, we're going to see one of your clips. Um, but like that was something that not only did I learn, but Chloe once again came to me asking about, and was like, I don't know. And then I went to learn to help her out, and
Yes, that's
then
incredible, isn't it?
yeah, and then I gave her a link to a certain website, and then she said, "How about you use this website instead, Chris?" And I was like, "You know what? Good shout."
Wow,
So yeah, like I feel like that is probably the most wholesome relationship you can have with a fellow streamer, where you just help each other out.
I love
Like
that. Like,
yeah,
it's so true. Like one of my best friends that I actually have in real life. I mean, like in that now. I mean, sorry.
yeah,
I actually met her through Twitch, and like not that I do like condone meeting people online because it can be a good thing.
yeah,
But I have like a best friend. I flew across to America to meet her. Like, do you know what I mean? She's like literally
yeah,
my best friend, and we live in two separate countries. So it is. You meet people online, or you meet these streamers, and you actually build a connection,
yeah.
a bond. And I think that's priceless, isn't it?
And they are more real than a lot of people that you meet in real
People
life.
that like you see on a
Yeah,
weekly basis or like a daily
like
basis. It's mental.
yeah, like I still have like three friends, two of which I consider my best friends and that I
Mhm.
maintain contact with often. One that I keep to a casual conversation every very occasional times.
Yeah.
But also I had this friend who was just incredibly fake, incredibly like a condescending narcissist essentially.
Oh fuck.
Um,
No, thank you.
and the best thing that I ever did was say I've had enough of her, and I just cut her off from my life, despite the fact
Good.
that she is still friends with my best friends. at the time.
Oh, that's hard. Yeah, that's
Well,
hard.
at the time, at least, and they talk a lot less to her now, and they still talk frequently enough to me. And it's
Yeah.
the thing that tells me that I did something right with that is that a month after cutting her off, I started streaming. Um,
Oh
so
my God.
like
Wow.
like it's like almost as if like she was the reason why my confidence was so low in the first
So
place.
low. Yeah, they
Yeah,
hold you back. Like sometimes, like everyone has everyone has friends, but like, we kind of put them in brackets. Like sounds really like weird, really weird. Like I used to have a friend that I only drink with. I wouldn't speak to her
yeah,
sober. I wouldn't go about like do like shopping or go and walk in the park. I'd only associate her with drinking alcohol. And then I
yeah,
realised myself, that's not a true friend, you know. That's actually not a true
yeah,
friend. All we do is go out and drink together. Like, what is that? So that's when I realised, you know what? It's not really good. You're not helping my life. I'm probably not helping your life. Like, just and
yeah,
we started
exactly.
ways. You know, like it's what it is. Like, it's so true.
Yeah,
Like, people come in your life for reasons, and I think you're very strong for what you've done. Like to do
yeah.
that, it's incredible.
Yeah, it's certainly a lot of inner strength, and that's why I plead to anyone who has a friend like that, cut them off, see how you
Hmm.
feel.
Yeah,
You may find yourself that you may feel like it's a mistake and you decide to go back to them. That is fine.
yeah,
But if you're like me and you find the will to take the risk and take the gamble on yourself, and you know you keep doing it and you keep finding the courage to do that
yeah.
without someone saying something like, "Oh, I have a driver's license and you don't," or I'm a university student and you're not." Like if
Awful. What the
legit,
fuck?
like to be fair, like here's the thing with that. It's like the first one that was like the university student joke was like a light-hearted joke because she was reading something aloud to me and my best friend, and I made the joke of English much because she was stumbling over her words, and
Oh,
that's the same joke
well,
that's the same joke that my best friend would say or that I would say to my best friend. And
yeah.
then they went automatically defensive of, yeah, well, I'm a university student and you're not.
Mm,
I'm just like, yeah, that is a very, very, very fragile ego, mate.
yeah, that's
Um,
not. Yeah.
yeah, and then the next one is actually even more ridiculous because they were parking in a spot in a way that's not terribly but because we couldn't see like the post that was in front. It was a bit, you know, of a struggle. And then at one point, it was like we were joking at first, and I said to be fair, and before I could finish everything that I said, she said, "Well, I have a driver's license and you don't." And I was like, "Well, first of all, mate, I was trying to defend you. Secondly,
Wow. Yeah.
yeah, like it was just like, and
No, that's
yeah,
not good. You don't need that in your life. Like,
yeah,
no, no, thank you.
and that's strike two. Strike three came where we were planning a trip to Blackpool. It
Oh,
was
nice.
Yeah, it was five of us. So me, my three friends, and her. Um, and it was like at first I was like, I don't want to go. I said to my best friend, to the point where I even had a mental breakdown and started crying about it over text, which is the
Oh,
only time that I've ever done that.
oh, that's
About
awful.
like, and he said to me, you know what, just go anyway. See how you feel. If it you know if it keeps happening, then yeah, like do what you feel is right. And so the trip happened. For the most part, it was okay. But then
Okay.
we got to the drive home, and then they just flipped to their usual condescending narcissist behavior.
Oh God.
Because it was once again it was during the first lift of the COVID lockdown that we
Right.
went, and my best friend made a joke of, I think it was he was having difficulty with his I think he no I think he was just sneezed or something or had a cough,
Yeah.
and I made a joke of, have you got COVID, mate? Can't you smell? And I think I was making a joke of, can't you smell what the Rock is cooking? Um, and then they said very loudly and shouted this, "It's taste, you fucking dick." Not smell, not smell, it's taste, apparently. And I was just like,
Oh.
and then I said, well, there's not much of a difference between the two sentences, is there? And then they were like, yes, there fucking is. And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Whoa, this is escalating very
Yeah,
much.
and then obviously it de-escalated because I just couldn't be bothered. And then
Yeah, I wouldn't.
they went on a fucking monologue on how good they are at debating things, at arguing stuff, because they are
Oh my god, they
and
sound fucking
yeah, and
awful,
I was
mate.
like, you know what? Messaged my friend after he took me home. I was like, you know what? I'm fucking
Yeah,
done with this person. And
yeah,
even he was like, yeah, I don't know what the fuck happened there.
yeah. What was all that about?
Yeah. So yeah, and um, the weird thing is, the day after they went to Alton Towers, which is the place that I wanted to go so
Oh
badly,
no.
but you know, that happened. I still want to go to Alton Towers. I haven't been in since middle school. Which was what year? 2013? No, 2014. That was the last time I went to Alton Towers, so 8 years.
Oh wow, 8 years is a long
Yeah.
time. But you know what? If you
Yeah.
did go then, it probably might
It
have ruined
wouldn't,
your whole
yeah.
experience.
It
So
probably would have,
it's
yeah.
sometimes it's you've gained really out of that.
Yeah, like, the only thing that I remember other than that car ride home for the Blackpool trip was when we went on the giant wheel and one of my best friends was just fucking shitting himself the entire time. And we were having
Yeah,
a good laugh about it though. And
yeah,
even I was feeling a bit nervous because it's heights,
yeah.
very
It's
tall.
not. Yeah, I'm not great at that either, so I
Yeah,
can understand that.
yeah. So yeah, like you said, it would have probably ruined my experience going to Alton Towers
Yeah,
again.
it definitely would have.
Um, but yeah, like, considering in the long term this is happening right now, I would say that it's not only worth it, but I would do that over and over again.
Yeah,
Because yeah, like, I'm pretty sure you probably found the same way when you started streaming, when you don't realize how many friends you're going to end up making until you
yeah.
do.
Yeah, like you really don't, and I feel like, and you kind of like find yourself because you feel like you can be you
Yeah,
with these people that you meet, like these lovely beings that you meet. I call them lovely beings, so I just call like
yeah,
wholesome beings. Like like you meet these people and you feel like I can actually be myself,
yeah,
and we have a lot in common and we understand each other. And I think like that's
yeah.
one of the best things about Twitch.
And
Like
then
it really is.
yeah, and then you come across someone who is like who's like a fucking prick, and it's like, you know what, if you're gonna be like that, and then you just smile and give them a middle finger, and
Yeah,
then
exactly.
yeah,
Like.
like, and you won't be able to do that in real life because you probably start a fucking fight. Um,
Yeah.
But like on Twitch, it's like it gives you the confidence to be yourself and be able to defend yourself, even if it's
Yeah,
in
too
an immature,
right.
yeah, even if it's in
Yeah,
an
too
immature
right.
way. Um,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, like, I feel like that's the biggest advantage that Twitch has certainly given a lot of people, is the confidence that you have in yourself, and the confidence that is always that is always renewed whenever, you know, a fellow member of your community comes by, or, you know, you make a new
Yeah.
friend and they just lift you up, like.
Yeah.
And the best thing is, like, they don't have to, they just
No,
do.
exactly. They just do. Yeah, and like, I
Yeah,
think people as well, like they don't realise like the difference they make to my life or like your life
yeah,
or what they do. Like for example, like say like I'm off Twitch or like there's this in life, like with Twitch, your life will carry on while you're streaming, right? So
yeah,
you're hitting these milestones or you're going through milestones in your life that you don't want to go through or you had to go through. And they're with you, like, and they're
yeah,
supporting you. And like a little message, for example, like if you're having a rough day or something, they might pop up, "Hey, hope you're okay, keep smiling," like that. Like I'm like, you know
yeah,
what? You're a good human, man. You are a good fucking human.
yeah, exactly. And honestly, like, one of my, like, I don't, I say I don't message people often, but compared to how often I wouldn't message people before Twitch, I certainly DM people a lot, especially my friends, just to see how they're doing. If I haven't talked to them in a long time, I just want to be like, "Hey mate, how are you doing?" And then hopefully they're doing well, but if not, see what I can do. And it's like,
Yeah,
it just makes me feel better about myself that I am reaching out to someone that I care about, that I am doing as much as I can to help,
yeah,
even if at the end of it, I can't help as much as I would like. I'm still
It's
helping
like,
someone.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you want to show that you care, and
Yeah.
that will make a little tiny bit of difference, if not a massive difference.
Yeah, and one of the things that someone said to me when I was DMing them and they were having a rough time is that I said I'm sorry that I can't help more, but they said the fact that you messaged me helps. You have helped me more than a lot of people have, and it just like once again it's a message that I want to show that sometimes saying I am there for you is not enough. You have to actually show
So,
that. Yeah,
yeah,
and it like show don't tell is one of my biggest rules when it comes to establishing a connection. Your face camera's turned grey. Can you still hear me?
yeah, you fine.
Okay, good. It was just the face. Okay,
Oh,
it was just the face cam that was doing it. Okay, good.
okay.
um, but yeah, like when it comes to establishing a connection with someone, like like there are many rules to it that you can follow and choose to have, and sometimes having your own rules for the way that you live, in general, like it'll help
Yeah,
you a lot. Like I feel like that's another thing that like streaming helps is that you establish rules for your chat, and that'll encourage you to establish rules for yourself as
no,
well.
yeah,
And I think that's what actually tames a person a bit more, I think, when they make those rules for themselves. Um,
yeah.
yeah, like,
It's that boundaries, isn't it? Like setting
yeah,
boundaries. I think that's so important
yeah,
with streaming as well. Like everyone will have their own like boundaries they want to do. Like some people. Well, not that I don't DM people from Twitch. I would say I don't do that, but I don't promote it heavily. Only because I don't feel like in your own life, like mental health and everything like that, like I wouldn't want to make a promise to someone that could not potentially happen. So that's the reason why I
yeah,
don't promote constant DMing to me. But that's
yeah,
a boundary that I set for myself. But anyway, if people want to do that, that's fantastic. But I think setting boundaries is really important on Twitch as well.
yeah, like, definitely. Like, when it comes to boundaries, definitely. And I think when it comes to, like you said, like, excessive DMing, that is certainly a rule that, you know, it's a rule that I try to follow because once like if I get to a certain point where like I'm constantly saying hello and I don't get a response, like
Mhm.
I don't like I said I don't message daily because I don't want to have my DMing being excessive
Yeah,
to them because like you said it's not just my mental health that I have to look out for, it's theirs as well, and
yeah,
sometimes they want to be by themselves for a short
yeah.
bit. And yeah, like I know it's nothing against me. It's just, it's their issues and they want to, solve it their own way or go through it their own way.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I think like
Yeah.
setting boundaries and understanding what is okay for you and what is okay for that person, like that's I think that's
Yeah.
so important.
Yeah. And yeah, I feel like that's also another reason why I get nervous when inviting people to the podcast. It's like, what if they are the kind of person who, doesn't really like getting DM'd? But I still think it's worth the risk because the people who I do talk to are certainly like very friendly people who will not flip out at the
Yeah,
turn of just being asked to go on a podcast. Like
yeah,
legit, like there is one person that like I have been messaging to want to go on the podcast, and I would be terrified otherwise to ask them, especially considering like we haven't managed to do it yet. But like twice now, like we've been unable to organize something because they have a lot of events going on. And they'll never like tell me stop inviting me to your fucking podcast, Chris. No, they are not
oh,
like that at all. They are just
hope not, Jesus.
yeah, they are legit. Like I think they are legit interested. It's just that, of course, like they say, like I just genuinely believe them when they say it's just because they got a lot going on.
It's having that it's having that right time as well. I think it has exactly. It has to be right time for both of you
Yeah,
in a sense. So
yeah.
yeah.
And that's why when I do constantly say that I could do with getting a co-host for this. But I also know for a fact that if I tried to get a co-host, then that's just another person that I need to arrange a good time with. So yeah, like it will like, but I think I would be able to do it, especially if I know someone who I can trust to
Yeah.
stick to like
That's That's the thing, isn't it? They've got to be like a reliable source
Yeah.
because, like, if they also if you have like the same time scale as well, say that
Yeah.
they I don't know work full time nights or work full time days, like you've then got
Yeah.
to make time, and then it's just that's a bit hard challenge. But I think if you find the right person, who's
Yeah.
reliable, works with you, then that could be a powerful duo.
Yeah.
That.
Time zones as well is another thing to consider. Like, I'm in the UK. What if the other person's in the US or Canada? Or
Yeah, time zones.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, like I feel like that would also like help me like be a bit more in advance when it comes to stuff. That if I had a co-host and obviously we get guests on, and one day we just can't get a guest on, we still have just the two of us, and we can just chat.
Yeah, you have. That's true. That's true because you both could do it. Then you're both
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and legit, like I have like several people who I've got in mind who could certainly be a co-host. Some of which have been guests, and it's because like you said, like we're just good at arranging times, or we are good at like we have like a schedule that will be able to fit both of us, and especially
Yeah.
me who is technically unemployed if you don't count Twitch. I have a lot of time on my hands, so I will be able to, as long as I'm awake and my family's awake, I'll be able
Yeah.
to make a time.
You can be flexible. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like even like today, Chris, like I felt so awful. I had
Yeah.
so much going on today. Like I had to go to the dentist, and then I had the
Oh.
internet problem, and I just felt like so guilty. I'm like, what am I going to tell him? Like I felt like anxious to talk to you, but not because
Oh.
it's you,
But
just because I
because,
felt
yeah.
shit about the whole situation. But you were so like. It wasn't really, you didn't have to go at me or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like you were understanding. You gave another times. And yeah, like
Yeah.
8 PM would great, and I can get it sorted by then. So and you're so approachable. So I feel like you'd work
Oh.
so well with someone else. Like you
That-
really would.
That is really kind of you to say. Yeah, like I'm not gonna lie. When it does happen, like when an inconvenience like that does happen, it does like get to me, but just not in a way that I lash out at the person because it's not their fault, and I know that for a
Yeah.
fact that Virgin Media can go fuck itself.
Yeah, yeah, like it really can. Like, and I think it's so shit. Like, even Sal had lag. Like, you can see, like, I've not made it up. Like, I don't know what's wrong with it. It's just unfortunately just
Yeah.
unstable today. And it really, like earlier, I couldn't even get internet. Like, there was the TV services were working.
Were you using your data to message me? Or
Yeah, I was
yeah.
using my data. I was using data because it was like had like red lights, but like my TV service is working. So you don't know, it is unpredictable when it comes to like
Yeah.
technology.
Yeah, definitely. Like especially internet. Like internet is, if internet was something that was as simple as a fuse box, where it's like it comes from a generator instead of a fucking bunch of microwaves, then it would be a lot more manageable. I just look at my fuse box, and be like internet.
Yeah.
But it's not like that.
No, it
'Cause
really
it's not,
isn't. It really.
it's not a household source. It's just there, like
Yeah.
somewhere in the world.
Yeah, it's just there, isn't it? Just here.
Yeah. Else, we wouldn't be having these issues at all, and they wouldn't be happening as often at all because,
Yeah.
like, how many times has the stream disconnected? Like, in anyone's like any streamer, name any streamer. How often have you seen like their internet disconnect, or like they say that I'm going to be without internet for X amount of days because of this? Like,
Correct. Yeah, like it's
yeah.
very common. So
Yeah.
common.
And so yeah, like I think the only thing that makes it frustrating is how common it is because
Yeah.
like when it comes to stuff like this again, like it's not just one internet that you have to be concerned about, it's two. And as like I said earlier, like I was worried that my internet was going to go tits up, but luckily it hasn't. Like
yeah, it hasn't. Fingers crossed.
yeah. Thankfully, due to the out of the 213,000 frames that we've had, only 5 have been missed due to rendering lag. Not even internet.
Yeah, that's not even internet. It's just
Yeah, like that's just my PC being like, "Hey, can you stop switching tabs so quickly, mate?"
Give me a break.
Yeah, just give me a mo. I just did your accent there. I do apologize.
Yeah, fine.
I have this weird to be fair, like I think that's just my voice that does it because, like, I don't know if you have it when you speak, but like when you somehow just like in the middle of a sentence accidentally change accent, Like,
I think sometimes, you know, like when you hear you hear someone speaking,
yeah,
sometimes an odd word will be like their accent. You're like, why have I done that? What happened
yeah.
there?
Like sometimes I sound like I'm from London. Sometimes I sound like I'm from fucking Newcastle.
In
Uh,
Newcastle.
so it's like it's because I think it's because I speak so quickly that my brain is just trying to catch up, or it's just because my brain's going fast and I'm going so slow that I need to like my mouth needs to catch up.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, like or like it like you just talk normally and then you get a knee-jerk reaction that
It
happens.
happens, yeah. Like,
Yeah,
what? Sorry, what is that, a glitch
yeah.
or?
Exactly. So I could just be like suddenly like just doing a casual fight. Then like I have a bit of a friend like oh Norma, and yeah like to be fair it's I feel like that's what there's those moments which just once again makes streaming enjoyable because it's like you're sharing that experience that you'd
Yeah,
normally have off stream, but you're just sharing them with everyone else. Um,
definitely.
like I remember like earlier today I was in a person's stream and they were talking about like how whenever they get like squared. Yeah, like, whenever they get squared, no, whenever they get scared, like they just quack, um, because of like from a reaction. So it's when they play a horror game, then suddenly it's like whack.
Quack,
Yeah,
quack.
I'm like,
All right, duck. All right, come,
yeah.
keep calm, collected.
Oh, to be fair, we do love ducks here.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm here for it. Yeah, we're here for. I'm here for a duck.
yeah, here for a duck, especially right there. Let's just get all my duck emotes in there. Hashtag not self
Spam
promo.
the duck emotes. Spam the
Look
duck
at them.
emotes.
3 of those are new. The other 3,
Yes.
you can probably tell which 3 are new because they look exactly the same but with different.
We're here for it. We're here for
I
it.
still think Duck Rage is my favourite. I mean, look at that angry duck.
No, not gonna lie,
It's
it's
just
pretty impressive. I've
vibrating.
got.
Yeah.
Love that.
Oh.
Love it.
And actually, that's a good question. Do you do your own emotes or do you get someone else to do them? Are
No,
you
I do get someone from Fiverr
okay?
to do it for me. Yeah, but
Ah,
she's been my emote creator since I joined Twitch, so I don't think I'll ever change.
ah,
Hopefully, not change. Do
yeah. I
you
certainly.
make them?
Yeah. I make them.
Oh my god, that's
What I
incredible! What
do,
the
I
heck?
look at some royalty-free clip arts, and then I just make it in my own style.
Oh
Um,
my god, that's so
so yeah,
good.
that's why. Like, you see the second duck, which is just an old
Yeah,
duck emote.
yeah.
Normally that would not have the Outcast Chris shirt on it, but because I added it in and added hair to
Yeah.
it, just make it my own.
That's
Um,
so good, you know, that's so
yeah,
creative. Like to say you've actually made it yourself, that's
yeah.
incredible.
It takes a long time, just for
Yeah,
one.
I bet.
I mean, it's not exactly as detailed as you see the like I guess like with your like the person that you go to for Fiverr, like it's not like mine aren't nearly as detailed as those. But for something that is
I would say something you've done and probably new to, I would say. That's
yeah
incredible.
yeah, and I'm certainly getting better at it. Like
Yeah.
I mean, look at the fucking last one. Like all I did
The,
is
yeah.
I just made a cowboy hat. I just put it on the top of the duck emotes.
I'm
That's
sorry
just
for that.
very basic. And then you get to the middle one, which is the wave, and I had to make that fucking wing from scratch.
Yeah, that is
Like,
talent.
yeah. Uh, I do enjoy it though. Like, I do enjoy it when I have a good idea, or I look at an idea and I think, how can I make this better? It's the reason why
Yeah.
I absolutely adore my new logo, is that it was either going to be the same design but gold, or the one that I currently have. And then I was
I
like thinking, do I leave the diamond one for the anniversary? But instead I thought, make it early. Why not?
I really like that. I really, really
Yeah.
like that. I think it's so the colouring, I love the colour.
Yeah, I love the colour as well. A lot of people love the colour.
Yeah, the colour is so
Yeah.
good.
The only downside is if I wanted the diamond blue font for my chat, I would have to pay for it. Because it's on a subscription thing, I think. So I've had to go for dark blue.
Oh. Okay.
So yeah. But you know what? A small price to pay for salvation.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I think it's still the same color in the sense of blue. So
Yeah, I just and also like whenever you do like give your presentation in your coat of paint, it energizes you in a sense. Like I don't know how often you have changed up your appearance when it comes to your streams over the past 3 years. How often have you done that?
Penny, I'd say. Oh, I don't actually know. I would say the stream outlay. I would say I've changed multiple times, about 5 times. I'd say in three, which isn't that much. However, my logo, when I got my logo made, I kept all the same color, the same, it's a purple color. So
Yeah.
that's stayed.
Yeah, that is fair. Yeah, like my color has certainly changed several times. So I went from red, rough red, because
Yeah,
Outcast, why not?
yeah,
To
makes sense.
yeah, to what was the first? Oh wait, no, yeah, to a black and well a dingy grey, black and orange combo, which looks very Halloween like. I'll be honest. So. Yeah, there's that. To be fair, I did like start streaming at a few days before Halloween, so I guess
That makes
yeah.
sense.
And
You made
then
that informed decision.
yeah, and then in December time, I made it so that it was blue and orange with 3 lightning bolts.
Oh,
Um, and then like a few months later, I made it blue and orange again, but instead of it just being Outcast, lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt, Chris with a blue background, I made it so that it had more of a like a crosshair, like a sniper crosshair, in sort of design. And then I made it look a bit more like a wanted poster. So,
yeah,
and that's when wanted streaming came about. So it's wanted streaming, and then in the middle it just said Outcast Chris.
yeah. That's so good.
And then on my 1 year anniversary, we had the black and golds,
Yeah.
which of course
Because I think that's when I
yeah,
joined. I think I
that's
think
when
there was
you've
black and gold, right?
yeah black and golds, which
Yeah.
I've used all the way up until July, where I decided to have a bit of a spin off it called Summer of Outcast logo, which is the one that looks a bit like a Capri Sun package. Um, Honestly, I'm glad that it did though, and now we got to this one, which is officially the version 5, unofficially like the 7th version. Oh yeah, and also like during the black and gold, I had a temporary Christmas one. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah. I do think this color is very like appealing, like, drawing
yeah,
in. Like I think this one is. I'll
I,
say this color is my favorite one of yours.
oh
I
yeah,
only seen
definitely.
three, so
It's
yeah,
my personal favorite as well. Like
yeah,
just the diamond blue.
yeah. It's
Makes sense.
good.
Yeah, and one thing that I love about this podcast in particular is that it's the exact same shade of purple for the camera border as it is for your logo.
Yeah, I know.
So,
How mental is
yeah,
that?
we could honestly recreate your logo right now if you had a penguin. Oh, like that is certainly like a phenomenal thing, and I do like have a big, profound respect to GFX artists when they aren't, following me on
Yeah.
Twitter or DMing me in Discord.
Yeah, okay, that is a bit of annoyance, bless her. But you know
Yeah,
what? It's a hustle. It's a hustle.
yeah, it's like, yeah, it is a hustle, but I'm just like, anyone who's following me, I'm not buying your stuff. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But A, I already have someone if I need them. And B,
Yeah.
I do my own stuff anyway, because I don't
Yeah.
have the money to give to you. And that's the thing, like, the prices that they put for their stuff, it's not overpriced, but it's not logically affordable for me and for anyone who has streaming as their only source of income.
Yeah,
To
exactly. I think
yeah,
everyone has their own source of income, and where I work full time,
yeah,
I'm able to put some money
yeah.
into it.
You
I think left is
are
different,
able,
isn't it?
yeah, you're able to invest it,
Yeah.
and certainly that like it shows that you're able to have such good stream quality. Like you can tell that you've put an investment into your streams, like the way that it looks, without a doubt.
Oh, bless you. Thank you so much. But so have you, though. Exactly the way
Yeah,
you've done it. It's what I mean, you do put so much effort and time. You can always tell. Like, it
yeah.
does go a long
Like,
way.
yeah. And I mean, to be fair, like either you have to, spend a bit of money, or you have to spend a bit of time, or you have
Yeah,
to spend a bit of both to
yeah,
make everything
definitely.
work. And certainly, I can certainly say, especially with your starting scene screen, it's animated. So
Yeah.
whereas I have to resort to a still picture and a clip reel, and the only reason why that clip reel exists is because I've got the clips,
Yeah.
and that's about it. So you can just see me have, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, a bit of an orgasm whenever I beat the Bell Gargoyles in Dark Souls, because it took me so many tries to do it last time that when I
Oh,
did
that's
it first
brilliant.
try, like I was just
Oh,
like it. Oh, good lord! Like that
it's
was,
nothing when you beat a boss. It's like nothing better,
yeah,
is there? When you beat a boss, you're like, fucking hell, I've done
yeah.
it. I've done it.
Oh, especially when that boss is fucking Ornstein and Smaug from Dark Souls. Like, you got fucking Big Fuck and Quick Fuck. And you have to take out Quick Fuck first, because if you don't, then he's going to be Big Fuck and Quick Fuck at the same time. Like,
It's no go. It's not
yeah.
good.
And at one point, like, during that boss fight, I killed Ornstein first, thankfully. And because I ran out of Estus like 3/4 of the way through killing Ornstein, and that took like 20 minutes. And then I got Super Smile, and I run out of my healing, so it was a
Oh,
game of endurance, which I lost.
yeah.
And I got Smile down to 1/4 of his health, so I was legit so close. And then when I finally beat them, he's like, the first reaction isn't me yelling. It's just me getting all the laugh out
Yeah.
of relief. Like, you
Yeah.
can just be like,
Like,
you just can hear me just go, and like that's like me just you know forcing the attention out of me, because it's just all been building up, because I'm just taking on the hardest boss so far in the game, and then finally I managed to do it.
yeah,
Oh
there's nothing worse when you got to keep going over and over again. Like I
yeah,
remember when I was playing Resident Evil HD Remastered, I played that, and it's an old school game. So old school, I do
yeah,
think old school games are harder.
yeah. Like
And
2005,
like
right? 2005.
yes, remastered. I think it was. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think originally it was made in 1996. I think,
Damn.
but when it was remastered, I think it
It's
was in
barely a Gen Z.
2005. Yeah, honestly. And it was just this dog. This dog kept killing me, kept killing
Oh
me,
yeah.
kept killing me. And I thought, oh, for fuck's sake, it's only a fucking dog. Why am I struggling? It wasn't even a boss. It was just this dog. I
Oh.
named it Bruce, and Bruce was going to die. And I killed Bruce after the 78th time of dying, and I celebrated with taking a shot of alcohol. So
Yeah.
I
That
feel you.
is
I feel
that
you.
is how you take care of the shark from Finding Nemo. Oh.
Oh, it is one. That's the thing about games. When you've done it, you're like, oh my god, like,
Yeah.
oh, I've done it.
Yeah, like just that final like attempt, and you're
Yeah,
like, you don't want to say this is it in case you fail,
yeah,
but you do it.
yeah. You do
Oh,
it every time. It's gonna be one. It's gonna be the one.
yeah.
No, it's not. It's fucking not.
I have that feeling in Fall Guys when you're the last two left.
Oh my god, Fall Guys! What an absolute game! I fucking
Uh,
love playing it, but I hate it at the
yeah.
same time.
I won it like I've only ever won Fall Guys once or twice, and several times I've been
Yeah.
in the final two. I'm just like, no, this can't be it. This can't be it, and I die. I'm like, okay, yeah, it isn't it. Of
Yeah,
course it
isn't
isn't.
it?
Of
I'm
course it's not. Yeah.
right.
I didn't expect that, but I did.
Yeah, yeah, you know it's
uh,
coming, but I thought it was the one.
yeah, you always have that moment when you do something like something competitive or it's a challenge, and you don't want to get your hopes high, and so when you do fail, it's like, yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, yeah,
Sounds
you
about
prepared
right.
yourself mentally for it.
Yeah. I've had that many times. Like one time I was doing what is called the Rainbow Perk Challenge in COD Zombies. And
Okay.
basically, there are these perks in the map, and they are symboled by different, like, they have different symbols for them, which are different colours. And in the map Origins, there are 8 of them. There are 9 perks,
Right.
but one of them's black, which is not a colour of the rainbow. Um, and so you have to buy these perks individually, in the order of the rainbow. And because because
Oh,
of Origins, you're like normally you're only allowed 4 perks, but in
right,
Origins you can get extra slots by doing more of a quest.
right.
And yeah, there are up to 4 that you can get, of course. And I got to the point where I was at the 6th one, and then I just died. So I couldn't
Oh.
like I got 6 out of 8, and I was like, you know what, sounds about right.
I'm
uh,
over it. I'm done for
yeah,
today.
that's it. And then I had one where I was doing a high round challenge on the same map to get to round 50, and then the big boss zombie, the Panzer Soldat, spawned on round 49. I took care of him, but because I was so distracted, I died on round 49. I was like, you know what, seems legit.
I would have been
Oh.
so gutted.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, you know what, makes sense. And it happened again in another map, Mob of the Dead, um, where I ran out of ammo, and I had to activate a fan trap, but I was on the wrong
Oh,
side of the fan trap. So they went through, they all died, but because I was on the side where everyone would be spawning, I had to try and
oh
survive
no.
that, and then yeah, I died in that
Oh
room.
no.
Yeah, but you know what? Both like those were years ago. Ever since I've beaten the both to the point where I managed to get to round 72 on Origins.
Oh shit, there you go.
Yeah,
Challenge accepted.
yeah, exactly. And I think I made it into the 50s for Mob of the Dead. So
Hey,
ultimate
you did
victory. Yeah,
it.
it only took a few years, but I did
Celebration.
it.
Woo.
Yeah. What do you think there's a moment that you had, like, where it's like, other than the Resident Evil dog, but where you've done a challenge that, you know, you failed multiple times, but you finally, like, ages later managed to do it?
Um, yeah, bringing it back to Resident Evil, I'm gonna have to bring it back to that one. Because that has to be the game that I think I struggled the most with even completing the game. It took me a lot longer than it should have took me, a lot longer than a lot of people had completed it in. I had a lot of challenges. I think that game just challenged me in a whole because it is like a horror. It's old school horror, so you have to like you can't just save the game. The game didn't save. You have to find your health. If you die, you lose all what you've done. So I think that game right there was definitely a challenge that I felt I completed, and I was happy that I completed that game. So overall, Resident Evil, if you haven't played it before, Resident Evil HD Remastered, you have to do it because that is a challenge and a half.
Yeah, like, honestly, I would love to play the Resident Evil games, but I know that there's a fucking giant spider boss called Black Tiger there. And
Yeah.
as an arachnophobe, I just
Oh,
can't.
yeah. Okay, I feel that. I feel that.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
I
you do
have to
have that.
play Skyrim with a mod on just so that the spiders aren't there.
Oh,
And,
really? I say I
yeah,
hate spiders, but I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm arachnophobe. Like
yeah,
I do panic. Like I do. Yeah, I do have like I do get panicky over. I do scare. I
yeah.
do get freaked up, but I'm not like yeah.
Yeah, I'm arachnophobic to the point of I can't look at them. Uh, So,
Oh
like, actually,
no.
that's a story to bring up. Yesterday, I went to an escape room with my friends.
Oh
Um,
nice.
yeah, and then on the way, like, at some point, my friend had to go into the workplace because they needed keys, and he's a manager there, or at least he's management there. And then on the way, during the journey, I looked up. I was like, Lucas, there's a spider, above, right, directly above you. And then we had to fucking pull into a Starbucks.
Oh my god.
My other friend had to use a tissue and get the spider out. And then we managed to resume our trip. But it was like that moment where it's like internal panic, but trying to keep cool because you don't want the car to crash.
Well, the car. Yeah, you've got to
Yeah,
like deal with that. And you're in one
yeah,
confined space as well. You can't even like escape from this space. Oh, that's fucking
yeah.
awful.
And then
No.
it was like I was like, oh, it's approaching your head there. He did tell me if I freaked out more, then the car might have crashed. He said if I
Oh
was like, oh my
no.
god, then yeah, he would have pulled in straight away. But yeah, like, and then like our friend Adam was like, it's not even that big, and then Luke was like, it's fucking massive.
What do you mean?
Yeah, like the classic arachnophobic thing where it's like,
Uh,
what do you mean it's small? It's fucking big.
yeah,
And
it's
then
fucking huge.
yeah, and then like at one point, like he just put spider out the car and then tried to put the napkin back in. I was like, no, don't put the tissue
No,
back in
don't
as well.
bring that.
Put
Yeah,
the
don't bring
take
that.
the tissue out as
Ow!
well. Yeah.
Get out! Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like
Oh.
I think like the other I would say like the other week, I just kept getting spiders everywhere. I'm not even joking. Like
Yeah.
one day, like I woke up. One day, I literally texted my boyfriend. I was like, I can't do today. Like, I'm literally getting harassed by spiders. I was in the shower, just washing my hands, enjoying myself, washing my hair, singing the songs. I open my eyes. There's like a fucking daddy long legs crawling down. Like, are
Jesus.
you all right? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Do you want to die?
I
Oh
constantly
no.
get attacked by moths in my room.
Oh, they're
So
awful. No, they are
yeah,
awful.
I mean that.
Oh.
And so they tend to meet their demise by my own wallets, because you know I'm not a rich person, but I've got enough 5p's. So you know, I mean, to be fair, if that was empty, I could probably smother them because it'll be the power of my hand. I don't yeet my wallet. Imagine if I did though. There'd be many holes in my wall, but
Black Chris, be my sugar daddy.
Yeah. Do you think
Give
that's
me your
what?
money.
Do you think that's what the moths are doing?
I think they want you to be your sugar daddy. I do think they want to be your sugar little baby there.
Yeah, I'm afraid. Yeah, I'm poor, so
That's a no for you, Moth. Sorry, honey.
yeah. I mean, anything that invades my room, it's getting the death sentence without a doubt.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, no.
My trespassing in this room is punishable by death. I don't.
Exactly.
Even
fucking right.
Even if you're human, it's never.
God, mate, you're dead.
For legal reasons, don't check under my bed. Nah. But genuinely, like, it did become a nightmare with my parents when I was like, I told you not to go into my room. And
what do you mean you found skeletons under the bed, man? There's no skeletons there. It's all in your head.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, oh, look at the tip. This fucking room's in. I was like, well, it's only a tip because people just constantly come in and don't have the chance to fucking clear it out. And then they stopped coming in, and it's still a mess.
It's an organised mess, Sam. It's an organised mess. We know.
Early days of adult life. It is what it is.
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah. Like, I would clean it out, but I've got other stuff to do. I just haven't found the time.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, you just have to make time for everything. And when you have other people in the house that you have to work around, it's even worse.
Yeah.
And I think my dad's certainly the most annoyed when it comes to that because he does DIY, and so, like, he has to... And he also works full-time at the same time. And so,
shit, yeah,
like, I can see why he gets annoyed if, like... he has to do something, and like he has to plan around everyone else. Like I do certainly get his anger.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I would as well.
Yeah. But hey, it's life at the end of the day. If I could make things easier, I do.
Yeah.
But I can't always do that because I've got my own stuff to do, and it's like I said. This would be a lot more cleared out if I didn't have to, go downstairs and go through everyone to get to the bins. Like, and also there's always that thing. It's like you look at something that's in the bin. It's like, does that go in the recycling or doesn't it? And so, like, you have that internal panic.
That's the decision, isn't it? Yeah, it's so true. Does this check local? What do you mean check local? Do you recycle or not?
Or like it's something like a paper bag, and it's like, for example, right here I've got this empty paper bag of what used to have custard donuts in it, and it's like, because it's paper, it's like, does it go in the recycling because it's paper, or does it go in the regular bin because it's packaging?
I'm definitely sticking that in recycling. I'm gonna be honest. If I'm not doing it right, then someone stop me right now.
Yeah, I mean, I go the opposite way. It's like, if it's not obviously recyclable, then it goes in the regular waste. Because I don't want to cram recycling with rubbish. So for example, this Pringles that I've got here, that's going in recycling because I know it goes in recycling. But I'm thinking, put the custard donut wrapper in the regular bin because I like how this is the Wanted Streaming podcast, we've just talked a lot about real life, haven't we?
We actually have. We really have, actually, which I guess is
Yeah.
a bad thing because
Yeah.
we're humans, isn't we?
Yeah,
Everyone's got a
and
brain life. Do you know
yeah,
what I mean?
exactly. And I think that's my biggest enjoyment about this podcast. It really humanizes people because, yeah, sometimes it's like you go on like your own streams, and like I said, it's a heightened version of yourself, but sometimes you have to put on a
Yeah.
brave face
Yeah.
because, like one of the things is like you don't know who's depending on you, and so and that
Yeah.
always like fits into the admittedly not very healthy mindset of letting people down when you have to cancel.
Hmm.
But at the same time, it's like the reason why I want to do this is that I want to see people more human, like
Yeah.
that, so that they don't have to put on a brave face.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. And
yeah,
people like let people know that like we do relate, like we're all humans as
yeah,
well. Like it's, like you know what I mean.
yeah,
We're all going through this life together, hand in hand. You
yeah.
know.
Like, yeah, and yeah, while I do get nervous when I have to ask someone with 3,000 plus followers if they want to be on my podcast, at the
Hmm.
same time, it also says that you and I are not so different after all. You're a streamer,
No.
not just you're a streamer and
Yeah.
I'm a streamer, but also you're a human and I'm a human. You
Yeah.
know, I might be male, you might be female, I might be British and you might be American or Canadian,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
or, from somewhere in Europe. It doesn't matter as long as, we have our own common ground, and we can still, care about each other.
Yeah, definitely.
Just,
Like,
yeah,
and I think, no, I feel like I don't know if you're not part of a stream team. Are you part of a stream team?
not anymore. I used to,
No.
but not anymore.
So yeah, so I've that's something that I've like realised recently. Like the stream team, I went to part of the stream team that I'm in called the Plant on, which I'm in now. And I was like, I really want part of this wholesome stream team. But I've realised that I don't think this stream team is for me because there's no communication. Like I feel like I
Yeah,
wanted to be part of something where you were part of something, you're not just a name
yeah,
that's there. Like, yeah, I am part
exactly.
of Plant Time, don't get me wrong, but I
Yeah,
don't feel like I'm part of anything.
yeah,
So I love the fact that you do this because it brings streamers together, and
yeah.
I think hats off to you, Chris. I really
Thank
do. Like,
you. That really
thank
does mean a
you.
lot to me. I'm glad that if I were to even go tomorrow, I've done something that can contribute to at least give someone else the inspiration to do what I'm doing right now. Because
I
if
think
you
yeah,
out there, if you're a streamer and you're looking at this thing, I want to do that, do it, as Palpatine would say.
yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah,
like
I think like you've done something so specially. I don't think you realise. I feel like, and like, I don't think you realise when you do ask people like how it makes that person feel. Like for me personally, you asked me, I was like, oh my god, that's mental. Like you're asking
yeah,
me, like I think that's so special, Chris. Like, so I'm so
yeah.
grateful for you, honestly.
Yeah, we had very similar reactions where you like me on the podcast, little old me, and I was like that reaction to my little old podcast. Oh, like it is certainly like my favorite thing to do once a month. Like I would do it weekly if I didn't fear burnouts.
Yeah, I
But
think once a month is good. I think
yeah,
what you
it's
do
a
once a
healthy
month is good.
amount, and
Yeah,
it gives my community something to look forward
look
to.
forward to
Yeah,
definitely 110%, definitely. Yeah,
yeah. Like yeah, you can like my COD Zombie streams that happen recently once a week, but sometimes once every so often. You can look forward to my Red Dead 2 streams as
yeah,
often. You can look forward to when Hypno appears in chat. Welcome in, Hypno. Hope you're having a lovely day. Um, but yeah, like it's just these podcasts. They just mean so much to me, not because it's me, but because it's you. Like it's the guest, it's the community
yeah.
that are watching right now who came from Mole to check me out and who came from me to check Mole out.
Yeah, I just
Like,
think it's it is so special what you do. Like, I think it's
yeah.
great.
And I think not only that, it's like I didn't talk about a lot of stories about myself. And I think it does help people understand me as a human being.
Yeah,
And even if I can't do it on every stream, at least I'm doing it now. And
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
give people a reason to root for you, but at the same time, get a reason for people to root for you and not the face that you put on sometimes.
Yeah, and like build your not character, but like build your person and show people
Yeah.
who you are, the true you. Like yeah,
Yeah,
special.
like we have like we talked about earlier. Yeah, it makes you who you are, for better or for worse.
Yeah,
And
exactly. And yeah.
yeah, you're more than welcome to make mistakes. People do that, but as long as you learn from them, that is what progress
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly that.
and there was something else I was going to bring up about the podcast that I keep forgetting what it is. uh, um, but yeah, it's like like I said earlier, where it's like, no matter how big of a streamer they are, um, I want like if I want them here, I want them here, because like
Actually.
sometimes I don't like there are big streamers that I don't want here, not because I don't like them, but because I feel like I have nothing to contribute.
Could
Like, because I feel like
like
what I can offer, they already have elsewhere, if that makes sense.
I feel like when you say that, I feel like everyone has everything to contribute, and you definitely would
Yeah,
contribute to someone who had like 4,000 followers or
yeah,
fucking 50,000. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because during that time, it could humble someone and make a difference to them
yeah,
as a
exactly.
person.
Yeah, it could actually. Like, when you say that, absolutely it could. Like, and it just humbled me when people take the time out of their day to do something like this. Like, I'm not, I try not to be egotistical, at least. I think I do an okay job.
You've got a big ego. I've got to
Yeah.
say, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Yeah. It's the size of Madagascar. Not the entirety of Africa, just Madagascar.
Yeah.
uh, but yeah, like, I do try like keep as humble as I can, and it's not hard when you have people who come from different backgrounds, and
Yeah.
like I had like with my podcast with Kels, I remember like her saying that because she was a girl, like she like didn't have the privilege of being a gamer growing up. That came out into her recent years of her life because she grew up like having to like girly games and not Apex.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, and like it just shows that how lucky I was to have not just parents who understood what I liked, but also gave me what I liked, like Mario
Yeah.
Kart.
Yeah, exactly. It's so true that everyone has their own different backgrounds. And
Yeah,
like I used to work for Microsoft and
really.
it was a big thing where parents would come in and moan and say, no, gaming's not right, gaming shouldn't be a thing for children, it shouldn't be this, it shouldn't be that. Or like, oh my little gamer boy, but you would get a gamer girl, whatever. And I feel
Yeah,
like there is that stereotype of like gaming is for boys. Or like, so for example, I'm like, oh yeah, like someone finds out that I play games, goes, oh my god, you play games, really? I'm like, why is it such a big like thing? I don't get that. Like, what? You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Like
Like,
I
it's
really don't
just
get it.
mental.
I hate it when people be like, "Oh, who's this gamer girl?" when they go to a female streamer's Twitch chat. Like,
Yeah.
I just want to talk out and go, "It's me."
Yeah, it's just
Uh,
like it's strange. Like, and I feel
yeah,
like also like I love the thing when I worked at Microsoft. I love the thing about like educating parents because
yeah,
parents would be like, no, like gaming's so bad. All these guns and violence. I'm like,
yeah,
hold on a second. If you want your children to go into like gaming, Minecraft is very amazing. There's so much to
yeah,
explore in Minecraft. They've got they've got to find things on their own. They've got to build things. They've got to learn things by themselves. Like there's multiple games out there that have not even got a sense of violence in it, and like
yeah,
you can play and learn, and like a bonding time with you and your child. You can do this and you can do that. Like
yeah.
I think that is just so much in gaming where I don't think parents understand. I wish they knew more about it.
Yeah, and honestly, like, if there's like one thing that I can always say, yeah, violent video games are violent. It doesn't. It actually suppresses violence. I'm pretty sure there have been tests that confirm that. Like,
Mhm.
people have researched that, and yeah, it stops you from being explosively mad in the real world because you're taking that anger out in, fucking shooting someone in the head in COD. You know? Like, and it's like when it came to pro wrestling back in the day, where it was like people just saying how steroids are contributing to like how people saying that the wrestlers are taking steroids, and it's like
Mhm.
they're not. Like, especially in modern wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, have you seen Keith Lee? He's not exactly a big muscle man. He's got a dad bod and is still the like smoothest looking fucking god of a human being I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like he is a 300-pound man with I don't want to say beer belly because I don't think he has beer, but it's like a round belly, and he can do fucking backflips. Like
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't have to have this picture stereotype in your head where they have to be muscly and taking steroids and veins popping out their arms.
Yeah, and the same thing goes with gaming. Like there should not be the stereotype that it's just men or just teenage boys locked in their fucking basement. Don't look behind you.
Honestly, yeah.
But yeah, girls can be gamers, and girls are gamers. Women are gamers, and they contribute some of the best storylines in the industry if they are a game developer. Like, I'm pretty sure The Last of Us 1 was written, like, it was mainly directed by a female. I might be wrong in that case. But Last of Us 1 is a fucking masterpiece of a game.
Yeah. Yeah, like the people talk. I haven't played it, but I always want to play. I will get around to doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, people go crazy for that great game. Do you know what I mean? Like it's got a huge fan base.
Yeah, and once again, it's like, and that's another thing. Like I don't get is when corporations pander to a certain demographic, thinking that's what's going to give them good, reputation.
Yeah.
It's like when pandering is obvious, it's fucking obvious. And that's why one thing that I love about GTA 5, especially in the story, which everyone likes to talk about the flying bikes and online, or how Franklin likes to say the N-word a bunch. But one thing they don't get is the satire in GTA 5 is equal. Because one of the first lines in the opening cutscene is Michael saying that his son smokes dope and jerks off while playing a fucking game, and saying that is not a standard for goodness. And this is coming from a 45-year-old man who just sits at home watching films.
Yeah.
So it has equality there, but also, it looks at the stereotypes. And sometimes it fits them, like with Jimmy in GTA. But then you see, like, the three-dimensional part of Jimmy, where he is that, but he also wants to be the person who gets a job. And, like, when you see that point where he goes to his dad and says, like, he apologized for spiking him with drugs at one point. And he says that he promised that he will try and get a job and he will try doing this. Like, it just shows, like, what, like, satire truly is. It's like, like, there are these stereotypes, and there are these, like, stigmas associated with certain things in the world, but at the same time, they're being criticised by people who do not understand what it's like to be that way.
Yeah, exactly.
And that is the ultimate... That is better representation in a 2013 game called GTA, called Grand Theft Auto, that has better representation of a human being than 90% of modern games.
110%.
Yeah. And because a lot of them is like, a lot of the Mondays is like, not just in games, but in films as well, where it's like a person of a certain minority, whether it be from the LGBTQ plus community, or from like maybe like a different country altogether, like or like a different ethnicity, and to make it so that like that is who they are, and then their biggest villain is the person who's against all that, and then in the end they convince them that they're wrong, and happily ever after, ha 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 ha. And
I know.
And it's like, that is not how
it works. Yeah.
And it's profoundly insulting to the people who suffer from
daily.
Yeah. Because that is a happily ever after that will never happen.
Never happen. Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
Exactly. Like, I have so many like openly gay friends. I say so many. Like all my real life friends, apart from one, are from that community.
Yeah.
And they don't often get like homophobic remarks. So you can say that is technically the happily ever after, but it's also a case of I just think people don't care, like, because to me, like a person's sexuality should not be any more important than their height.
No.
Like, and like the only time a sexuality should be more important than the height is when you're dating, because height does not matter when you're dating. I just want to put that out there. I am 5'10". I am not 6 foot. And you can
Joe, if you're listening right now, 5'10", it's okay.
It's okay. I've always been single, but that's fine as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I just hate like these fucking stereotypes that have been brought into the real world via media. That you know, the ultimate villain is the person who's homophobic. It can't be a person who shares a different belief, but it supports their sexuality. It has to be someone who's outright homophobic.
Yeah, I know. It's just
and I just hate this idea that, like, it's just so formulaic. Like, it's like people criticize the MCU for being a 3-act structure that is always the same, but at least sometimes they try out something new, like they did with Infinity War, where the villain wins, or like they did with Civil War, where the villain wins technically, even if he gets captured.
Yeah.
Spoiler for Civil War and Infinity War, by the way.
Juicy. Pleasure is.
Yeah, they're 6 and 4 years old, so if you haven't watched them yet,
it's too late.
Yeah. You've probably seen the spoilers anyway, so yeah, like what else is there to say other than I just want to see something unique? It's why I love Red Dead 2, because like that was the last Rockstar game that they made, and the last one made by Dan Houser. He was always about something creative. He was a very creative guy. Like, once again, you haven't played Red Dead 2.
No, I haven't.
You would not think that a game that is cowboys would be so character focused, and yet it is. And the reason why I'm saying that right now is so that you are prepared to watch the cutscenes and, you know, pay attention to the cutscenes, because they are what matter in the game. Like the old rootin' tootin' cowboy shooting stuff is still there.
Rootin' tootin' cowboy shooting, I like that.
But that is not the entire cake. That is just the icing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've ever had a cake that is just icing, but it's not as pleasant as you think.
Oh, great.
But yeah, and then you have the character, which is the sponge. And then you have the plot twists, which are the jam and the cream in the middle. And you've got this delicious cake. Oh, that's why I love Red Dead 2 so much. It's why I love Dark Souls so much.
I heard Dark Souls is like really rage quitty though. That makes people want to just turn off the
but once again, like that is a case of perspective. Like if you go into Red Dead 2 thinking you're getting a cowboy game, you are going to get one, but it's not the whole story. You're only getting 5% of the game experience.
Yeah.
If you go into Dark Souls thinking it's going to be a rage quitty game, then you're going to rage quit, and that's you're going to get 5% of the experience.
Yeah.
But if you go in with the mindset that it's a learning experience, that you learn to adapt to your situations, which is what Dark Souls is, it's a representation of life. You have to adapt to survive. And and not just that, the fucking lore of the bosses, you look them up the same way that you look up something in real life. You read about it elsewhere, or you go or you explore the world and you put the connections together.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Like one of the lore for Chaos Witch Quelaag, which is probably my favourite lore in the entire Dark Souls game, is that when you face her as a boss, she is a naked lady, which is basically a spider centaur, but like then you realise that the reason why she's attacking you is she wants your humanity, which is basically what you have, or basically like she wants your soul, and feed it to her decaying and dying sister, which you can see, who is also cursed with the spider centaur thing. But while Quelaag is healthy, her sister is not, and then you see her. You don't see her sister until after you kill Quelaag.
Oh, that's so painful.
And the thing is, and the biggest tragedy is, her sister is blind. So the only way that she can recognize someone, the only way she ever talks to someone, the only person she ever talks to is Quelaag. So you have the soul of Quelaag, and if you put that into like a weapon or something, or if you have it on your person equipped, you
Yeah.
hear her fucking lines, and one of them's like, "Don't be sad, Quelaag. I have you, don't I?" And it's just like, and
Oh,
then you remember
oh,
what you did to Quelaag.
that is heartbreaking. It's like you've done
Yeah,
what you've done, but you've
yeah,
like left this whole thing behind. Oh, that's horrible.
yeah,
I'm about to
and
get some tissues.
oh, you can text your partners to get some.
Sorry, Joe, get tissues, please.
Yeah. But yeah, like, and the only way to figure that out is if you take the time out of your game to look
Just
for
go, yeah,
it
look for
or
that.
to read about it online. And that is like that's why I consider Dark Souls to be a game that you could genuinely call a masterpiece because of how well it replicates life.
Yeah,
Like
that's crazy.
I'm legit. Like I've got it as a sub goal for my subathon in October to do a YouTube channel called Analysis Abyss, where I do in-depth analysis videos on video games. And one of them that I want to do is Dark Souls because I can legit talk for a good hour about Dark Souls and how
That's so good though, because like
yeah
I never even I didn't actually know Dark Souls was based around that. Like I just all I heard people like
yeah
getting so annoyed with
like
it, blah
it
blah blah. But you
is
just told me that.
a
It's incredible.
yeah, it is a very soft metaphor for life. But when you look at the
Wow.
explanations and the features of the game, every little bit, you realize that it's true. And the biggest one, which I'm going to, this is the only one I'm going to bring up because Alice will be here all day. But one of the ones that is the concept of hollowing. The concept of hollowing is basically so basically, the lore is that the Age of Darkness was upon the place called Lordran, and the main guy who founded the Age of Light, Gwyn, was afraid of it and wanted the Age of Fire to continue. And so I think he accidentally called upon a curse called the Dark Sign, which leaves every human to be undead, which means they die,
Oh,
but they constantly respawn at the bonfires, which is first of all that's just masterpiece masterpiece explanation for respawning,
yeah.
but at the same time, the term of hollowing means that if you lose your way, if you lose the motivation to keep going, you descend into a madness, and then you just become hollow, and like that is a good explanation
Yeah.
of you as the player as well.
As-
If you give
yeah.
up, you've gone hollow, and
Yeah, of
once again, a
course.
metaphor for life.
Yeah, that's
And
so true.
yeah,
Like you explained it, I'm like, oh wow, I see what you mean now.
yeah. Oh, and the biggest one, like when it as streamers, we can relate to that so much. Like if we give up trying to innovate, if we give up, and we lose our way with streaming, then we go hollow if we have to keep putting on a fake face just to just to make money to some people or to make sure we have
Yeah,
an active stream. Like if you lose your way that way, then you've gone hollow as a streamer.
as a streamer. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's so true.
and yeah, I just love Dark Souls. What can I say?
Yeah, well, yeah, honestly, Chris, you've sold me. I'm buying it.
Yeah.
That's it. Even
Oh,
if it is 60 quid, I'm here for
yeah.
it.
Just for the first game, honestly. I have not played the second or third. I hear bad things about the second.
Oh,
The third one I hear mixed responses, but mostly good. So yeah, like I'd say like Dark Souls 1 is certainly the perfect metaphor for that. And the perfect way that metaphor has been represented as well.
yeah.
So
So
yeah.
are you going to play the second and third, or?
I do have all three games. It only cost me 15
Oh,
quid to get all three.
oh
Oh,
wow.
and one of them's a remastered as well, remastered first game.
Oh, that
So
ain't bad, is it?
yeah,
That's pretty good.
that is a really good deal. So
Yeah, what the
I am
hell?
definitely going to be playing all three.
Good, good.
And I'm past halfway through the first one now that I've actually booked up and started playing it a bit more. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, so I can't wait for going
Yeah.
through all that. And I hear very good things about certain bosses in the third game, so I'm just here for the lore, honestly.
Yeah, I like when you read up about games, you get the
Yeah,
history. I'm like, ooh,
yeah. And once again,
oh,
like you say, it's a rage game. It's only if you know, the definition of insanity, trying the same thing over and again, expecting different results. Sometimes you just have
yeah,
to
that's
change it
true.
up a little bit.
Yeah, that's true.
Or sometimes, just like in real life, you try the same thing and somehow you do get a different result,
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
don't realize how. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, that is certainly certainly like the biggest argument that gaming is art and that gaming should be taken seriously, no
Hmm.
matter what kind of person you are and or how you
Yeah,
were born. You know.
yeah, exactly.
Uh, yeah. Like, do you have a game of that in your own mind?
Trying to think. Mm, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I'm not sure. No. That's a hard one, Chris.
Yeah. Like,
I'll have to think about it, and I'll be like,
yeah.
I'll DM you, Chris. This is the
Yeah.
game.
This is the game. I mean, you'll have to you'll have to win me over with it as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I somehow managed to win over Dark Souls for you. I mean, it didn't even seem like much effort,
No,
like to
no.
win over. I think that just shows how good Dark Souls is. So,
Yeah, honestly, I think it's sold itself, but you're the main salesman for it.
yeah. From Software. You know how Elden Ring was a pretty good game, but lacks the depth.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But it's
Hi me
very.
from.
It's honestly that game is so popular.
Yeah.
I didn't get into it, so I keep hearing banging. Don't know if you can hear that. Sorry.
No, I can't.
I can see people playing it all the time. I haven't got into it. I'd love to play the game. Have you played
Yeah.
it?
Not Elden Ring, but I've seen people play it like you have.
Yeah, it's
I
crazy
know.
popular, isn't it?
Yeah, it is very popular, but that's because of the legwork that Dark Souls put in, honestly, because it's the same developers and Bloodborne,
Mm.
to be fair. Um, but yeah, like when it comes to that game, like I don't see like there are. I would say an overabundance of bosses. Like it's an giant open world game, so I guess it has to have a lot
Yeah,
of bosses. But at the same time, there are a lot of them. Like, I'm pretty sure there's over 100 bosses that you can potentially go to, and you get to choose which ones you go to. So it's also that.
you do get an
But
option to, your head, if you go into it, you're heading into that.
yeah, but also it's one of those quantity over quality where once again, like the reason why I love Dark Souls One's lore because there's like 20 bosses, which
Yeah,
means there's 26 bottles. Yeah, 26 bosses, which means 26 opportunities for lore, and some of which
yeah.
are just connected together, like Artorias the Knight and Sif, his wolf. Those two are bosses in the game, and they are connected.
They are links. That's
Yeah,
cool. I like that a
and
lot.
then
You know how it
they have
finds out.
yeah, and they have a connection to a boss called Manus because he Manus is the thing that they tried to face at one point but failed, and
Oh,
it's like just But when
yeah, I love that.
but then you look at Elden Ring, it's like okay, hello there, assassin person. What is
Yeah,
your
it's just
lore?
it's just like a boss, isn't it? Like a
Yeah,
boss. So it's just like it's
but
not much
yeah,
to it in a
yeah,
sense.
like. And even then, you can make a fucking joke boss and have great lore for it. Like, once
Yeah.
again, Dark Souls 1 has Pinwheel, which, on paper, should be the worst boss because he is by far the easiest. But because of how hilariously easy it is, and how tragic his fucking lore is, it's fun to just look
Yeah,
at
it's
him.
good.
Like, I love Pinwheel, despite the fact that I really shouldn't. uh,
Yeah.
like, genuinely, like never before has a game. Well, never before 2010, which is when the original game came out. Apart from Demon Souls, I think that was 2008. But never before then has a gameplay-based video game had so much story in it. Like, and like I think it just shows a vision. Like these games that we talk about that are great, it just has a vision of what video games can be.
Can
If
be,
yeah,
yeah, can be definitely. Like you said,
yeah,
it's like you can have quantity, but it's also about the quality. So I agree with you there. Like what it
yeah,
can be.
yeah, exactly. You can have a quantity of the quality if look at like the stuff like I would love it if there was like a imagine like I mean to be fair, Red Dead 2 is kind of that way where there is a lot of storyline. It's a big story based game and a lot of fun gameplay as well. But also in the outside world, there's a lot of stuff like mysteries that you can like people are trying to uncover. Like I'm not gonna say which ones because they are spoilers for both games, but still, yeah, no spoilers there. Uh, but yeah, like I don't really know what to add about video games. That we haven't already said. Just that video games are art. Video games can continue to be art
Yeah,
as long as we don't keep to the same copy based um formula, which is only like, and as long as we keep to video games that inspiration is to revolutionize rather than to
yeah.
just make money.
Just yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Like I feel like when no my first on my PC, I wanted to try like I was looking at Steam and see like other like random games out. There's so many games out there that we don't even
yeah,
know of. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
I don't know if you played it, but I played this game called the Tale of Two Brothers. I think it was called.
yeah. I've
Um,
heard of it, but I haven't played it.
yeah, I think I paid like 1.99 for it, or £3 maybe if
Yeah,
that. And you have like two brothers, and there's like audio in the game, but there's no like talking, so you don't know
yeah,
what the character's saying, but you can like feel the emotion. You can understand what's happening visually, and like it's like a really game. You're trying to go and get medicine, and you're on the way to this journey, and you've got to work these two brothers together to get through like these stages of the game. And if you haven't played it before, I think do play that
yeah,
because your emotions get so brought within the game, even though there is no words or no speaking or
yeah,
no dialogue, and it just shows you how powerful, how the creation, how the
yeah,
sound, how every story is told without
yeah,
being said.
yeah. Like, yeah, exactly. Like how universal emotions can be with video games.
Yeah, I think it's so.
Yeah,
That is one of my favorite games. I think that's so
yeah,
good.
yeah. Like legit. Like one thing that people don't realize is that Among Us was an indie game. And then, like, because of its revolutionary,
Yeah,
communication of murder mystery, because before murder mystery for Gmod and Roblox and stuff like that, it was just like you're the killer, murder everyone, and
yeah,
try and maintain innocence. But then you look at Among Us, and it did something different. It involved communication, uh, and then with that came games like First Class Trouble, which did a similar thing. But also
yeah.
with that, it came a bunch of people who wanted to make money, and so decided to make cheap
Mm.
versions of Among Us.
Cheap, yeah,
Yeah, and that is probably the biggest problem when revolutionizing is that someone might want to rip it off.
mm.
I mean, look at Fortnite. That is basically like a rip off of PUBG when it comes to the battle royale at first, and then it became its own thing.
It's like yeah, it's like own
Yeah,
thing.
and now somehow Fortnite, which technically is a rip off, is the number one battle royale.
Yeah,
And then because of
it
that,
really, really is.
fucking AAA titles like Call of Duty Black Ops 4 decided to have their own blackout modes for battle royale, which didn't
Mhm.
work. And then Call of Duty in general decided, you know what, we're going to make it its own thing for free, just like Fortnite did for its battle
Yeah,
royale. And I'm just like, why are we constantly just innovate? Don't copy. Like,
yeah. I
I
don't
just
know if you've seen. There's a game I was looking at Steam the other day, and I played Phasmophobia, and
yeah,
it recommended me this game. And when I mean it was exactly like Phasmophobia, it was literally the same fucking game. I was like, how did they got away
yeah,
with that? Like, I was like, it's called.
exactly. It's like,
It might be called Talking Spirits or something, and I was like, it
oh,
was literally the
it was
same
Phasmophobia,
thing.
but same.
It
Oh,
was crazy. I was thinking,
it's
what? How
like,
is that? How is that been
yeah,
allowed?
it's like the Five Nights at Candy's, because that is basically Five Nights at Freddy's,
Yeah,
but a different game. Like,
mental, isn't it
with a
mental?
different name as well. Uh, like I get it when it's something like Toontown, where the original Toontown shut down, and so someone made Toontown, like a bunch of people making like
Yeah.
different versions, like Toontown
Yeah.
Rewritten. Like I get that.
Yeah,
But
there's yeah.
yeah, like I don't get it when it's like there's this game that's revolutionary, and it's been alive the entire time. Why are you trying to make a rip-off version of
Yeah,
it?
it was crazy. Like there's
Yeah,
even like Dead by Daylight. I used to main Dead by Daylight, but I don't play that anymore. But there's
yeah,
games like that are exactly the same. I'm like, what? It's
yeah. Like, and
crazy.
I'm pretty sure Dead by Daylight came from Friday the 13th, the game.
Yes, Friday the 13th, exactly.
And I'm just like, I mean, yeah, it's an expansion of it, technically.
Yeah, it is like a there is more to it. Like I do
Yeah,
prefer Dead by Daylight
yeah.
to Friday the 13th. I think there's more
I mean,
creativity, but the bases of it, I think, are
the only reason why I
basically
prefer Friday the 13th is because I get to clobber Jason with a baseball bat. I don't get to do that in the DVD.
No, you don't.
That's the one thing that they're missing. And
Yeah,
that's
you don't. There's no.
the
Yeah.
one thing that will buy me. Yeah. I just want to whack a killer in the face for,
What
trying
he
to instruct me.
deserves.
Yeah. Sorry, Michael Myers. Bunk. Oh. But yeah, like video games, like when a to be fair, like there is that quote in Megamind, where Metro Man says to Megamind, "When evil rises, goodness will also rise," or something like that. And I guess in that sense, when stagnation occurs, there will always be developers who revolutionize.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Have a lovely day, Hypno. Hope you have a very, very lovely day indeed. Thank you so much for stopping by. I do appreciate it. But yeah, so like I do like have faith that with every time that we get a rip-off of Among Us or a rip-off of Call of Duty, or I mean back in the day, Call of Duty had a bunch of rip-offs when it was in its golden
Yeah.
age,
Yeah.
and then Call of Duty became the rip-offs. Damn, I just realised. They did become the rip-offs. When they weren't, milking their cow called zombies dry,
Mhm.
they decided to, move on to fucking Battle Royale.
Yeah.
I can't wait for them to get to have Call of Duty Candy Crush. Oh,
Imagine the scenes.
yeah.
For fuck's sake.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past Activision.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I feel like that's also like with Saints Row when we talked about it earlier. Before people were
Yeah.
criticizing it as just a GTA clone, and then it became its own identity. Say, you fucking what,
It did.
mate?
It did.
You
It
want to say that
literally
again?
did. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, once again, that's probably mad respects to Deep Silver. I think is the developers for Saints Row.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, but yeah, like, what do you think is the most recent revolutionary game that
Oh.
we've had? I feel like we're long overdue for one.
Yeah, I can't really. Oh.
I guess you could say, when did Phasmophobia release?
Oh. Last year. Last year it released.
Phasmophobia.
Yeah, Phasmophobia was probably for me was one of the games that got me hooked. Like for me, that has Phasmophobia because it's like a game that was like new. Like
Yeah.
that whole aspect of it was pretty cool. Like hunting ghosts. Like
yeah, it's basically Most Haunted, the game.
yeah,
Oh.
Most Haunted. Oh my
Yeah.
god, what a show!
What? Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Only this time, the people actually do die in the end.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
things are really there.
Yeah, exactly. To be fair, I wonder how ridiculous you could make Most Haunted episodes. Like it. I mean, to be fair, Most Haunted episodes are basically what these YouTube videos of doing this at 3 a.m. Like that shitty.
Yeah. Honestly, it is hilarious, Most Haunted, because I feel like you watch it, you see nothing, but you can see like a dog bowl throw across the room, and you're like, I'm sure one of you just thrown that. I'm sure of it.
Yeah. Like, oh, he's pissed. He's pissed.
Yeah, he's pissed. He's in here. He's angry.
He wants his snacks. Scooby Doo, where are you?
Where are you? Oh, what a laugh.
Oh yeah. I mean, that should be the next Phasmophobia clone, Spooky Dooky Doo.
Yeah. We've spoken about a lot today, most random stuff. It's been brilliant.
It has been fun. I've certainly had a fun time. I tell you what. Yeah, I feel like we should certainly end it here. We're closing in on 3 hours. We should definitely end it here.